Welcome to the Next Dimension Podcast, your portal to an extended reality. Every week we talk about the hottest topics in XR and let you join the discussion live on MRTV. And now, get ready for another exciting episode coming up.
Hi and welcome to Season 2, Episode 17 of the Next Dimension Podcast. This is the last episode of 2021, and we're going to look back at the year. What were our VR highlights in hardware and software and in general? And here with us, the Next Dimension Podcast All-Stars with Gary from Immersed Robot. Gary, how are you doing tonight?
Very good, thank you. It's good to be back on the show. I've not been on for a while, but then again, you've not been on for a while on the show.
You're right.
I've not had a show for a while. So, yeah, it's good to be back, and it's good to get one more episode in before the end of the year.
Exactly, yeah. Let's simply look back at what happened. And also here with us, of course, Tetiana from Disco VR. Tetiana, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really well. Thanks, Sebastian. Yes, these past few weeks have been crazy and busy, so it's really nice to get together one last time. I mean this year, of course.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, tonight, here in Europe, it's tonight. In the States, it's not night at all yet. And here also with us, of course, Steve, VR Flight Sim Guy. Steve, how are you doing?
Very well, Sebastian. Actually, I was just thinking the last podcast, it was just me and you.
Exactly.
And that actually felt ages ago now. So it's good
You're
to
right.
doing another one.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good to come back together. And yeah, let's simply think about what happened in 2021. What kind of year was it for VR? And yeah, let's look back at the highlights. And also with me, Sebastian Ang, founder of MRTV and the host of the Next Dimension Podcast. For all of you who don't know this show yet, this is a show that's all about VR and also a bit of AR. It's going to be bigger in the future, this AR thing. But right now, it's more of a VR show, honestly speaking. We are normally doing this show every Saturday at 9 p.m. Berlin time, 8 p.m. in London, 12 p.m. noon in San Francisco, and 3 p.m. in New York City. And this is also an audio podcast. So if you want to listen to us on your daily commute, you can do so. And you can find us on Google, on Alexa, Spotify, everywhere where you can find podcasts. And wow, if after so many shows you have not yet reviewed us on iTunes, on the podcast app, please do that now or in the first 5 minutes of the show. So basically now, get out your iDevice. You must have one of these beautiful devices. Open the podcast app, find the Next Dimension Podcast, and do give us a 5-star review as like a thank you for all the shows that we did in 2021 and also for the shows that are coming up. Okay, cool. So today, as mentioned already, we are going to talk about our highlights, like the best games that came out in VR this year, the hardware that came out in this year, and also we want to talk about our personal VR highlights, because obviously this year was very exciting for all of us in terms of VR, in terms of our channels, what we did. And it would be great to find out what was exciting for us. And also, of course, we want to find out what was exciting for you. So also, we'll read your chats. And if there is an insightful, funny chat, I'm going to show it here so we can engage with each other. So this is going to be really interesting. But before we go to our topic, and also we're going to talk about After the Fall, because we played it all together and that was really lots of fun. Before we do that, we're going to go to each of us and we're going to talk about what we played and what we did in the last week or two. And I would like to start with Gary. Gary, what were you up to? VR.
Yeah, so VR-wise, well, I was playing After the Fall with you guys, which was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun, that was, but we'll get into that. So really, I suppose it's vaguely VR related, but these past few weeks, really, I've been getting into 3D printing. I bought a 3D printer.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's something,
Wow.
it's something I've been wanting to get into for a really long time. Like I've been looking into these for 2 years or more, really, but I've never really pulled the trigger on it because whenever you start looking into the details of what it takes and all the little tinkering things like that you have to do, every time I got close, I'd find something that would push me away. But then I decided to just go for it, and it takes up a lot of time to get into it and learn all the little nuances and stuff like that with the printer. But this is not that impressive, but it's impressive for me. Okay. So this is an Oculus Quest wall mount, which
Cool.
I made.
That looks really cool.
That looks very cool. Exactly.
I designed this, and it
Oh, you
just goes on
did?
the wall, and it goes like that, and then you get the controller, and this is where I'm probably going to break it because it's not mounted on a wall. Push that in there.
Nice.
So then you've got two controllers, and it hangs like that. So
You'd sell millions of those, Gary. Literally, I want one already.
well, you can buy one. They're on Etsy, and I've not sold millions. I can guarantee that.
I'll definitely buy one of those. That's
We
brilliant.
can buy them from you from your Etsy store.
yes, they're on Etsy.
Oh my God,
Yeah, so-
Gary, you will be friggin' rich.
You need to mount it with some kind of a magnetic charger too, because that's what people
Yeah.
want. Want it to charge while it's just resting on the wall.
Don't say stuff like that. I've not got the expertise to do that. Whereas printing out a little piece of plastic, I can just about manage that. But yeah, it works really well. I've got one. I use one myself over here. My wife won't let me have one in the main part of the house where I really want it, to be honest. But yeah, it's pretty good. And getting into the 3D printing side of things, that's like one of the first things that I've really designed and printed out. And it's
You have designed it yourself. It's
Yeah.
not. Oh my
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
you're a
It's not-
talented guy.
I'm not really. I'm not. Believe me. But you can do lots of different things. I'm trying to think of other VR related stuff because what you can do as well, you can go on this like Thingiverse, these various websites and stuff, and download VR related things that you can print yourself, like adapters and just things like that. So I'm looking into various other stuff that I can just download and print out just for my personal use, really. But yeah, anybody that's thinking about getting a 3D printer just to tinker with stuff and add things into your VR sort of life, then I think it's worth doing. It does take a little bit of work to get into, but I'm really enjoying it, and it doesn't cost the earth as well. It's not like an expensive hobby like VR can be, honestly.
Right.
But yeah, so 3D printing, and then really I've not been playing too much VR this past week, and then obviously we were playing after the fall before that. But yeah, that's pretty much me.
All right.
Is it
Nice.
difficult, Gary, to understand the software to be able to make the design for that? That's the thing that I'd find quite hard, like the learning curve.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about too, Steve, as well, because what I would like to do, I want to progress into learning Blender properly, which is to do the 3D stuff. So what I've done to design that is actually pretty basic. There's this website you can go to, which is designed for actually students and learning stuff. It's called, I think it's by AutoCAD or something like that anyway, but it's called Tinkercad, and it's just like a very, very basic 3D modeling thing that you can do. It's all web-based, so you just go on, design it on there, export it, put it into a separate program and this kind of stuff. But yeah, that process, that side of things at the level I'm doing it at the moment is very basic, but I would love to start diving into Blender and doing more complex stuff. Yeah.
People
Right.
say that once you start doing this, it gets quite addictive. So I'm expecting some big things next year, Gary. Like literally, like a table, or I don't know, like some sort of chair or special, VR cover or something. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to make next.
Yeah, well, my dad's. I bought this probably about 3 weeks ago, and my dad's actually bought one now. He came around and tried it himself, and now he's bought
I
one.
see. Yeah.
So
Wow.
I'm doing a lot of technical support for my dad as well. I'm basically going over to his house quite often now to say how do you do this? How do you export it? How do you import it? And all this kind of stuff. So that's my duties.
So how can we find you on Etsy?
I think if you just search for Quest 2 wall mount, it'll probably come up.
Okay,
Honestly,
cool.
this is like such a hatchet job. I've just basically put it up there. Yeah, Quest 2. Just do a search for Quest 2 wall mount.
Okay,
It should
okay,
be
nice,
one of the first
nice.
ones, I
And
think.
how expensive is it?
At the moment, it's 10% off. So it's
10% off, guys.
For Christmas.
it's £17.99, because I have to factor in the fact that it's all one unit, and I have to put it in a box which is quite, decent size, and packaging, postage, packaging, all the extra expenses and stuff like that, while also, of course, making a little bit of money on top. So that's why it's that price. So, yeah.
Okay.
This is probably not interesting to people, so we should move on.
You'll get 1,000 orders just tonight now. You'll be like, oh, God, what was that?
Yeah, I can't cope with that.
That's really cool. I love it. That's great. It's just simple solutions like that, because I don't know about you guys, but when sometimes it's hard to know where to put your VR headset, or sometimes you don't have a case, so it ends up being somewhere precarious or something. And it'd be nice to be able to hang it somewhere where it's going to be fairly safe.
Yeah, so now you have the chance to get 10% off from Etsy from Gary's store.
Brilliant.
Nice. Yeah. So, Steve...
I'd say I'd send you one, Steve, but then you'd have to make a video of it on your channel. So I won't put up the pressure on for you.
Definitely. I'll be up for that.
No problem. If there's an affiliate deal,
of course.
We can talk about it. Okay, cool. Yeah, Steve, tell us about your week then. What were you up to?
Yeah, it's been a very busy week. It generally is when you ask me these things. I don't know why, but I'll just quickly say, because obviously we've got a lot to talk about. But obviously playing After the Fall on Quest 2, which was amazing. Not quite as amazing as Seb playing on the Aero.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Reading posters and comparing sort of graphical fidelity of that game is very good. It feels like a full fat PC VR game again, really. I mean, obviously there is a Quest version and a PSVR version and all sorts. So it's great. It's cross play, but I mean, just to be able to play it on Airlink on the PC was great. Really enjoyed that. Been testing out the Apara 5K. So that's probably the biggest thing I've done this week, really. And yeah, wow, what an interesting VR headset. I keep calling it a wildcard headset because we've had a lot of different ones this year. And this has come from nothing, nowhere. But yeah, it's kind of like, where has this come from? This, incredibly small headset with this amazing micro OLED technology. So it's been, exciting trying it, but unfortunately, I don't have the actual display port cable, the correct one, the 1.4 one, and the obviously the Steam VR Lighthouse track, which I really enjoyed that video, Seb, by the way. I really enjoyed that the other day. And
very raw and unedited, right? I mean, like, it was great. I'm just trying this thing out.
I felt like I was going on this journey with you, and I think everyone felt like that on that video. So that was really good to see it. It was an organic video. I think sometimes YouTube videos can be far too edited and fake, and that was raw. Liked it, and that's how I like to do my videos when I try a headset for the first time. And I think that's. But yeah, I've got some mixed emotions with the Apara, but overall. It's a very interesting proposition, absolutely, and a wild card headset when you think of, where it sits between, say, the Reverb and the Aero and that kind of thing. So yeah, really cool. And probably I'll just say this plane behind me. I've been testing this out for the past couple of days. This is a new, it's basically like it's a Bush plane. It's a turboprop single engine, beautiful aircraft from SimWorks Studios, and it really is. It set the bar very high for add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And today I have been flying this in the Aero today for nearly 5 hours.
What?
Yes, wow. I have.
Oh my god! It's so fun, this Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, I must admit it now.
You are honestly, you've definitely got the bug now, Seb, and it's made me very happy actually, because I remember the first time I tried any sim, really, let alone when in VR, and it was just one of those things you just keep coming back to it, and it was so relaxing today. I didn't have any plans today at all. The weather in the UK is so awful. I didn't want to go anywhere, so I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to fly all day. And yeah, I think the first flight, it was about 2 hours, and I got a drink, and I was flying over Wales and the Lake District, and I was just looking down in my little plane, and I thought, this is just so cool how VR is and aviation have come together like this. It's such a special time, and this aircraft behind me is just absolutely so well done. I've very few things to moan about it, really. It's just very well done. So yeah, it's been great, and I think that's pretty much in a nutshell what I'm doing.
There was just a comment, Steve, actually from Paul P Jr. Has Steve tried flying Santa's sleigh yet, because I think that's a mod, isn't it, or something?
It is. I keep
been
hearing
added.
about this, but I haven't checked it out yet. But
Yeah, I've
it
not
sounds
either.
very interesting.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
What is it, Paul? Is it basically? I haven't seen it yet. But are you actually like Santa in his sleigh? Is that the idea? And you're like, that'd be quite funny. With the reindeer in front of you. I don't know, but yeah, I'll certainly give that a go. That's more the lighter side of flight simming, definitely. But it's worth a try, I suppose.
It is so good. I mean, Steve, but unfortunately now that I'm into this whole thing, you're getting WhatsApp messages from me all the time. Like, Steve, how do I get the most out of this? What do I have to click now? How do I change the perspective? What do I do now here with G2? What's going on now? Tell me, please.
Because it makes me chuckle when I, because I think I know where how the thing is with this sim, it is very complex, and to get the right settings, that's why I do set up videos quite a lot on the channel, and they do change quite a lot as well. But it's one of those things, once you've got it dialed in for your system, it is absolutely just mind-blowing.
Oh my god, it really is. This VR thing is incredible.
I need to watch your video. Have you done a recent video, Steve, on Quest 2 Airlink at all?
I did.
Yeah.
And yes, there's two things that I actually need to change already on that, because that's the thing, things keep changing all the time. But yeah, I do have a Quest 2 setup guide on there, but I did put a note. Yeah, I did put a note in the description of the things that had changed. So just make sure you read that bit.
Yeah, because that's one of the things I've played it. I've played Microsoft Flight Simulator with Airlink, but I've not really dived into getting the best experience I can on my system. So I'll need to follow some of your guides on that.
Thankfully, it's a lot easier than it used to be now, because Airlink is at a point where it's using less resources and it just seems to be performing much better. So there's less stress to get it kind of working really well. And your system's pretty beefy, isn't it, Gary? Have you got a 3080?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a really good card. So it should be,
I think I'm in the same boat. I got it to work, but I feel like it could do better. I just haven't had...
You've been using it. Have you been flying?
I tried it once.
Yes.
I was waiting for my turn to speak.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, just butt in, please.
Oh, yes.
It's your turn now.
So basically what happened is that my husband and I managed to snatch 3080 after months of trying. And
yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice
Super
one. Well
exciting.
played.
And I'll let you in on a secret. Go to newegg.com. They give like daily giveaways or shuffle that you can participate. So it's so
you
ridiculous
get it for free?
how it works. No, you win the right to spend the money.
I love that.
Wow, that's how things are right now.
To get exactly, yeah, that's how it was in like right when the Soviet Union collapsed, and like there were right before there was a shortage of like basic necessities like toilet paper, milk, hot dogs, like
noodles.
Whatever. So meat, and you would stand in line because people had money, but they didn't have the supply. So like, take my money, give me stuff. If there's no stuff, you have to stand in line for 3 hours to get a sausage or something. It's the same thing. Like, people are ready to spend $1,500 on a graphics card or more, and there's just not enough graphics card. So we finally won an opportunity to spend a lot of money to get 3080, and we finally got it. So we were very excited.
Nice.
And so one of the things that we've been doing, we were just kind of trying some games, even though these past weeks they've been so busy. And it sounds kind of tacky to say it, because it kind of sounds like an excuse for not doing things. You know how people ask them, hey, let's go hang out. I can't, I'm too busy. It was literally the busiest time I can remember, because I've had my dissertation proposal defense that I finally defended.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We had the crazy time at work, which I loved it, but it was super crazy with the channel, with the work, with some things that are happening just in life. I was working like 11, 12 hours a day, and I'm so glad that things are getting better now. So I haven't tried anything like super new, but I tried some games that we played before, like with this new graphics card. We tried, Lone Echo 2. Really loved that.
I bet it was so much better now.
Oh my god. It's so nice when you don't have to tweak every little thing. Okay, let's
Yes.
lower the graphics a little bit. Maybe now it's
Yeah.
gonna run
Crank it
smoothly.
up. Crank it up.
Yeah, just to find that fine line when it's, bearable in terms of graphics, is not laggy. It was like the worst. It was awful to try to set it up with like my 2060. And now I just like plug it in, boom, it works, and I don't have to
Right.
do anything. I know I can do something to make it work even better, which I will do later.
Oh, there's always ways to make
It's always
things
stuff.
even more impressive.
But we did try Flight Simulator. It was amazing. Like, wow,
Oh,
so much
perfect.
better than playing it on the lowest possible setting when everything looks like it's made of cardboard.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, isn't it? Like
It
it's really something special.
Looks,
It is
yeah,
very
so
special.
impressive.
In terms of sort of, the achievements in software engineering, if I can call it that, like Microsoft Flight Simulator is up there as one of the biggest achievements when it comes to a piece of software. If you think about it, it's absolutely astounding what they're doing with this. Really,
It's the scope of it, yeah. When you
Yeah.
think about it, it's the scope, and I think you're right. It's the achievement, and it gets a lot of criticism as well, based on
Yes.
updates and things like that. Which sometimes, I mean, I can sympathise with some people that criticise. They want to get in and enjoy it bug free, but when you take a step back and think of what they've achieved with this simulator, and just think of the scope of what they have to deal with in there, I think you can, it's a little bit like Elite Dangerous. I forgive
Yeah.
Elite Dangerous occasionally with some of these bugs and things like that it has. And the same for Microsoft Flight Simulator, I think.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, Elite Dangerous is another big sim, isn't it? I actually call that a sim
Yeah,
because
it is, yeah.
the learning curve is quite hefty on that. I remember I had no idea what I was doing until a friend who played it all the time kind of gave me a bit of a walkthrough and it took me even then it took me a while to understand a few things. But yeah, anything sim related like that, where there's so many different variables, every flight's different. You could do the same flight from Germany to the UK, in this plane, you could do it 10 times and it'd be different every time because
Yeah.
the weather and the AI and just the physics. It's incredibly, complex piece of software. But I mean, I'm the first to admit I do moan a lot when they get things wrong. The only thing is with Asobo, they get silly things wrong.
Yeah.
They've made the most beautiful sim ever, and then they completely wreck the VR. Like the toolbar where you can't even do anything. Like, what's that about?
That is frustrating, yeah. And here we go. We're criticising Flight Simulator.
Yes,
but
I know.
it is frustrating because you love the game so much. You want it to be good when you go back in. But the other thing, like the menu system, the aliasing was broken for so long on that menu screen. You just think, how can that be difficult? But yeah, never mind.
Right.
I'm in the beta. There's an open beta at the moment, and if you log, the actual beta is actually pretty decent. You just apply to go into that, and it works really well now. But yeah, it is a bit bizarre.
But now that my graphics card is ready, like the computer is ready, I'm ready to upgrade some more of the VR hardware too. I want to try it all now. Like now I'm ready.
I'll send you my
I want to see it all.
I want Wario area. I want it all. So 2022 is going to be a big year.
Bring it on. Send everything to Tetiana, dear hardware manufacturers.
This thing is great, but I think I'm ready now.
Yeah, ready for the next thing. Yeah.
Speaking of the 3D printers and stuff, I don't have a 3D printer, but the other day, actually several weeks ago, we went to, for the weekend, we just went to a different city to relax a little bit, just kind of change the scenery. And we going to different antique stores. And one thing I didn't expect to see in an antique store is this thing.
What is that?
And we know what you use that for now.
A golem, yes, of course. You're right, of course. You're right, obviously.
It's a 3D printed one, and he's spray painted with white and black paint to make him look like there's shadow on his face.
Wow.
On his head.
Wow.
So he looks absolutely stunning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want this thing. It costs $20. I'm like, yeah, take my money.
That's amazing. That's a bargain. And it's like a perfect VR headset stand.
Yes, perfect. Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Gollum is using virtual reality. Are you kidding me?
It's amazing.
That's
and
so cool.
This is my stand.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I love it so much.
That is good, yeah.
For $20, that's really a bargain. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm looking at that, and all I'm thinking is that must have been like a 48-hour print, because that would have taken a long time to print out that.
Now you look at it from the professional standpoint.
Manufacturers.
Here you go. I'm just going to...
No, I'm really torn now. I don't know whether to have Gary's stand or that. I'll know which. Maybe I'll just get both of them, and I'll put the Reverb G2 on one, and then the Quest
That
on
makes
that
sense.
one. That'd be
That
a
makes
good idea.
sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
But Gary, how long does it take to print out one of your stands of the wall mounts?
15 hours. Can you believe
No,
that? Yeah.
15 hours. Oh my
It's
goodness.
because I've got a budget 3D printer, that's why. You can pay a lot more money and get faster ones, but yeah.
Right. Wow, that takes so long time.
It does, yeah.
So $17, it's like a bargain, actually, I think, for your time. You have to sit next to it and look at it for 15 hours.
That's right. That's exactly it. I have to cancel work just so I can watch it print.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool.
Something happened longer than just this week. I mean, it was much earlier than that, but I don't know if I ever told you about it. Maybe I did. I don't remember, but I got PlayStation 5.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, it's great, right?
And it's great, but I got to be honest, I was perfectly happy with my PS4. And the biggest reason I got it was, when PlayStation VR 2 comes out, I'll be ready. Because it's so hard to get the fifth one. And I got
the point.
An invitation in the email that said that we reserved one for you. I'm like, what does it mean you reserved one for you? And I go in there, and it's like a 20-minute line waiting for my turn to place an order. Same thing as it was with the graphics card. So I got a chance to buy it.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, thanks for giving me all these chances to spend all the hard-earned money, and I spent it because I wanted.
So you got a 3080 and a PlayStation 5. You're living the dream.
That's amazing.
Tetiana, wow. Your life is so good.
I'm ready. I finally caught up with you guys. And today I tried The Matrix Awakens.
Oh, I tried that too. Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much because I want, whoever's watching this podcast, I want you guys to try it if you have PlayStation 5 or I believe Xbox One. You get to try this demo, sort of like a promo sandbox video game that they created to promote the new Matrix movie. It looks stunning. It's the best. I can't even begin because I tried it literally an hour before the show. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to get ready for the show. But I just want to walk around in this beautiful city. I
was shocked too.
Universe. I could not believe how good the graphics looked. Like, it's not a full game. It's more like a sandbox where you're walking in the city, basically. But it shows you the ability of this Unreal Engine to render the most inexplicably marvelous graphics you probably have ever seen in your life. Like,
you have to try it if you have PlayStation 5.
Like, whatever I say will not do it justice.
Yeah, and then
experience.
in the beginning, like Keanu Reeves talks with Carrie Ann Moss, and I was like watching it. Okay, cool. This is like a video, right? No, this is not a video. This is being rendered. These guys are not real.
These guys are not moving.
And it's like I was like so shocked to find out about this when I read about it later. Like what?
Yep. It's a glimpse into the very near future of gaming. And it's like I can't believe how good it is.
I think it's available on the Epic Store on PC as well, because I was looking into this yesterday. I've not got a PlayStation 5, but a lot of people were talking about this. So, but I think you need to install the Unreal Engine, and then it's like one of the demos or something that you get installed along with the Unreal Engine. If my understanding is correct, I didn't actually get time to do it, but it's on my list. It's one of the things I really do want to try, because a lot of people are saying how great the graphics are, and just hearing you guys talk about it too.
It's mind-blowing. It's really mind-blowing. And then we know what's going to happen and what's possible. Like right with the next GTA, for example, it can look like this. It's incredible. It looks so real.
Yeah, and it's also, I didn't need to be hyped up for the new Matrix movie. Like, I seriously didn't need to be hyped up, but they decided, to make it happen, and like.
Exactly.
I haven't even watched any of their films.
What?
I need to.
Okay, Steve.
You've got to.
Kick him out. Kick him out.
I'm the only person in the world who's never watched any.
The first one.
Films.
It's
incredible.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one that you are on this podcast right now with not having watched The Matrix.
But I'm so jealous of him having watched it, because I wish.
I know.
I knew you were going to do that.
I tell you, everything that first one leads up to, that end section is just it's just fantastic. That first film, and the problem is the
movie.
sequels. Yeah, the first, and then the sequels that came out, they just could never live up to that feeling of that first one, I don't think, and that's where they fell down a little bit for me.
For me too.
Yeah,
for me too.
That says it. That says everything.
Space
really.
Denizen, he says it, or he or she. Watch Matrix. Come on, really. It's
not really into science fiction though that much. I think
man, this is also about virtual reality, my friend. You have to watch this.
It's virtual reality.
It's even deeper. It's
one of the best superhero films that is nothing to do with Marvel, thankfully.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I agree with Artful. So Matrix and Ready Player One, the book even more so than the movie, are like the Bible of VR, of any VR enthusiast. Like these is the epitome of what VR is, representation of VR in pop culture.
Exactly.
I guess that's my homework then. Until
you have to watch it
next year, I'll watch the movie. I promise.
You have to do it. You have to do it. This is really like my favorite movie of all times. The Matrix.
On my list. It's in my top 5 as well.
Really?
And it's nothing to do with VR. It's nothing to do. It's not. I don't even necessarily consider it a VR movie. To be honest,
I watched it before I liked VR.
Yeah, exactly. I did too. Yeah,
yeah, obviously, right?
It was before VR existed in a way that
we
think about it now. You know how we think about VR now. It wasn't even in the cards when the movie was created. So it was a completely new.
Oh my goodness!
Idea.
I'm so hyped for the new movie. And have you watched the trailers? They're so good. I still know Kung Fu. Like what? Come on, this is gonna be good. Steve,
we could have a separate podcast.
You have to, exactly. We could just talk about that all day.
I will. I will watch it. I promise you this. I'm off work now for 2 weeks, so I'm definitely going to watch.
You won't regret it.
Being the first one
like that.
Yeah.
Is it on Netflix? Anybody know?
It was. I think it still is.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, right.
It's old enough to be easily discoverable.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it.
You could even watch it like in your VR headset, in the Aero, in big screen. In virtual reality. Come on. How beautiful is that?
Okay,
you have to do it.
We're going to do this. My husband and I were going to watch this on big screen before this is a great idea. Thank you.
This is a good idea, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, cool. Anything more, Tetiana, that happened in your VR world?
Honestly, just like wrapping up everything with this year. It's a crazy year, and I'm going to be traveling for Christmas, so there's a lot to catch up. But one thing that I guess like the new game that I tried, which is super cute, Little Cities. I loved Little Cities. Have you heard of that one?
That sounds kind of cute already.
Yes. It's like SimCity in VR or something.
It is SimCity in VR, yes. And the first one of this genre, I believe. I don't think that there's anything like that yet. I guess
I think they've got competition coming pretty soon, haven't they?
It is crazy because I reached out to Little Cities and I said, "Is there any relation between Little Cities and?" The other game is literally called Cities. Skyline.
What?
And they're like, no, there's no relation. It just so happened that the other, another company that we, adore and respect so much decided to release a game that's very similar in nature the same time. So both games are going to be releasing in spring 2022, and you can imagine how many content creators are going to be putting comparison Little Cities and City Skyline together. Which one is the best? But bring them on. I'll play both of them. It's super nice. It's very relaxing. It's intuitive, and it has this unlockable system. Or the more you build, the more you level up, and you get new buildings sort of unlocked, and it gets really addicting because you keep anticipating what's going to be unlocked next. What am I going to build next? It's super nice, and it's only the super early version. They have like 6 months left. The game is going to get even better, so I'm actually very excited about this new genre in VR.
Who is the developer of Little Cities?
And Dreams.
And Dreams, yeah, because what they're doing. Because I think the thing around this is that Cities VR that's coming out is Cities Skylines, which is it's a huge flat screen, flat PC game anyway, and it's done really well over the past few years. So that's like the VR version, and that's probably going to get a lot of attention. But what Dreams are doing with Little Cities is interesting, because this, I believe, it started out as sort of a little side project initially. With 2 people at Dreams, and it just expanded and expanded. And I think in the marketing of this, they've shown a real story behind this game as well. And I think that's a really clever way to give it another side, to give it some kind of competition against this what presumably will be a bigger game. Possibly, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But
based on the trailers, it seems a lot bigger.
Yeah.
The Little Cities feels like, I don't know if you've ever tried the mobile version of SimCity.
No, I've not. No.
It's a much more simple version, like a lot more sort of like dumbed down. It's easier to play, it's easier to grasp, but it lacks complexity that the original like computer version. That reminded me of that, and it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just sort of a different image of the same genre. So it's good to have variety.
Yeah, and I think my point is as well, I think it's just that their marketing around this is the way that they need to market it in order to give it some kind of competition against Cities VR, which is going to be a bigger game. That's all.
Yeah, good.
People want Steam to watch.
I wish you never said anything now.
I don't think anyone is gonna believe that you've never watched it. People are gonna think that he's faking reaction.
like I'm shocked. Like wow, Steve, you really have to record your reaction like after you watch the movie.
I am. I'm gonna do a raw reaction.
Like in
thumbnail and everything.
Like at the end of 2021. I mean, I was like shocked in 1999 when I watched it. You know.
Yeah.
So wow. Let's see how you feel like 20 years later, or more than 20 years later.
A reaction video should just be Steve completely silent all the way through the video, then taking his headset off and just going, "That was crap."
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Who knows?
Losing all subscribers overnight.
I daren't say it's crap, because obviously everyone loves this film. So maybe it's a bad idea if I do a reaction video, because I might not like it. I'm sure I will, though. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I think you will love it. Really. I really think you will love it. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to watch that movie. It's going to happen so soon. And we're going to see Keanu Reeves again and Carrie-Anne Moss. It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Sebastian, how was your week?
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for asking me the question. Yeah, well, I'm on my season break, and you can tell how well that is working. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was actually expecting myself to be sipping on like mild wine for like every single day, but then no, it didn't happen, because all these companies are sending me their VR hardware, and I can't just wait to show it to people, right? And this is what happened. This is the Apara Steam VR tracker, which you put on the Apara headset, which kind of a few YouTubers got, right? Also like Steve and Tetiana, you also got it. But this now really makes it a viable headset. Because before this Nolo tracker is kind of like you can't really use it very well. It's terrible, honestly speaking. But now with the Steam VR tracker, this is like a whole different thing, and this makes it like a viable headset. So right now I'm testing it. I'm coming back to the office. I'm doing all these videos for Patreon, and like the first 2-hour video, I put it out for the general public to see. And yeah, I'm going to review this because I know people are wondering now, should they back it, yes or no? So I try to understand it as good as possible, and I will make another video for the general public where I give the general public like my final thoughts. And that is coming up on the channel. Yeah, so this is going to be very interesting, I believe. So this is good. Then also I received the new version of the HP Reverb G2, right? So this is also what I'm testing out right now. It has some new face gasket, the new cable, and also the tracking is supposed to be better. So this is what I'm checking out. Then also in my season break, I got the new the final version of the Pimax 8KX, with the new deluxe audio that you also have, Steve, right?
Yes.
So I don't know what's the matter with all these companies sending me all that now, where I thought, like, okay, you know what? At the end of the year, I'm going to relax, and I will still relax a bit, but I still, I'm an enthusiast with this whole VR stuff, so I just need to look into this stuff, and I will make some videos. For sure, this one I will still do probably like a live review where I just go online where I just go live on the channel and just talk about it without like making a perfectly cut video. So that's something that you can look forward to. Yeah. So next to the mulled wine, I'm checking out all this hardware because I'm a big fan of all these hardware things. And it's exciting to see that micro OLED display in action as a viable headset. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. And also, I played with you guys. I played, After the Fall, which was pretty cool. And we are going to talk about this as the next topic. Yeah, I think for my week, that's really weird. I'm checking out new hardware, and they're posting lots of videos to Patreon. If you want to see them, go to MRTVElite.com. I think it's worth it. Only $1, and you can see all the stuff that I'm doing with all these headsets. Yeah, anyways, that's it for me. And tomorrow, actually, I am flying to Prague, which is beautiful. I love the city. And I'm going to look at 2 new VR headsets. So that is cool. Yeah,
what?
2 more.
Which one? Are you allowed to say?
No, I'm not allowed to say. But it's going to happen the day after tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to fly there. And then the day afterwards, there's going to be the presentation and the announcement of these 2 brand new VR headsets that nobody knows about. Nothing. Zero. They're going to exclusively unveil it there. And yeah, obviously, you will be able to see them on MRTV. So if you haven't done so yet, absolutely subscribe to the channel. And you will get my first hands-on of absolutely new hardware that no one else has ever touched before, other than the makers of this hardware. So that is going to be super exciting. Very much looking forward to go to Prague. And that's going to be good.
Exciting. I didn't know about that actually.
I didn't know. I'm kind of like my head's just blown. I'm like, oh my God.
I just read it on Twitter. You posted. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Sebastian just traveling the world, chasing all the headsets that ever existed.
Exactly. I'm doing the thing that I love. I'm trying headsets. It's crazy that this is my job to put on headsets, which I love. This is good. Yeah, I'm a happy guy. I'm a lucky guy. Yeah, so absolutely stay tuned to MRTV. You're going to see the exclusive unveiling of 2 headsets on the channel. Nice. And it's very surprising, I think. That's going to be really cool. So that's going to happen here on the channel in my season break. Great.
Congratulations, by the way, on hitting 60,000, which you only have 63. So
I'm going to 65, 70. Hopefully next year, I'm going to break the 100,000. And
you deserve it. Yeah,
thank you.
It's going to happen for you, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just stick to it. I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing. And then, at 100,000, this is going to be good. I will party on the channel. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we have talked about all of our weeks. And already 43 minutes without having talked about the year at all. Probably this is going to be quite a long show. But anyway, since this is the last show of the year, why not? Why not? Let's have some fun. So, why not talk about our session? And, I love to play together with you. We did that before this year. We played Demio together, which was amazing, incredible. And now we played After the Fall. So, After the Fall, it just came out. And they have already broken records, sold a lot, made over 1 million in revenues, right? So really congratulations to Vertigo. They really pulled it off. And let's talk about our session, our playing session of After the Fall. And Tetiana, what are your thoughts about us playing this together? What are your thoughts about the game?
Oh man, I was so excited when you guys brought it up on Discord. I mean, I I brought it up immediately after I played it for the first time because I wanted
Right.
to try it just, to see what the game is about. And it was like the early access for only like 2 days or something. And I played with some just random people. I didn't even know them. And I thought how fun, playing with randoms can be. And I had like amazing time. Kind of, even if you don't know the people, you're on the same team against these hordes of zombies, just felt really incredible. I thought, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
going to be, if it was so much fun playing with just people I had no idea who they were, how I can only imagine how incredible it will be playing with your friends. So I'm like, we
Right.
got to play together. And when we did, wow.
It's so fun.
I don't even like first person shooters that much because I feel like I suck. Like I'm always like the worst, and people like they're gonna be disappointed if I'm on their team. Even it might not necessarily be true, but I have like this self-conscious kind of feeling because I don't play that much. Yeah, here we go. And then the game, first of all, it was made so easy. Like reloading, which is something I mess up all the time, was so easily done. Like healing with those magic syringes was another thing, and we could help each other. And it was incredible. And I was playing on Quest 2 this time, the standalone one. This one, the video you can see like right now, Sebastian showing. Thank you. That's the comparison video that I
Head
did.
strap giveaway.
Yeah, you can go a little bit forward.
Yes,
when we
yes,
start,
sure.
Because I also played the Steam VR version first, and this one is a Quest version. So, courtesy of Steve, who also recorded his session when he was playing on. What were you playing on, Steve?
Steam VR PC, obviously.
Yeah.
But Airlink.
Oh yeah. So were you playing on Quest 2?
Yes, I was playing the Quest 2. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So I used parts of his footage and parts of my footage to kind of show the
look at
difference
that.
in
That's
speed.
really
Oh, so
guns.
cool. It looks fantastic to see
you've done
it side by side.
Yeah,
That's really
and-
clever. Yeah, have you done that? Especially because it wasn't your footage, so you've done really well doing that. I
Oh,
haven't seen the video yet.
This one is my footage though, because it's just the beginning. It's before we got online.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, but it was so funny to see the difference in graphics. Some of the things I never noticed. For example, like when you look at zombies, and I'll show up in just a few seconds, zombies on Quest 2 have clothes on. They're
Clothes on?
wearing like t-shirts and something else. And while on PCVR, you can see like all the little details on them. all
So
the little
interesting.
things. I would never notice, and they did it.
Really?
They save the resources on Quest 2 and make it work because it runs incredibly on Quest 2. But they have clothes on. You can just cover all these details. And
That's
I thought
so
that was
funny.
fun.
Oops.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny.
Yeah,
That's so interesting.
But I made the video, and I don't want to bash the Quest 2 version of the game in any way because it's basically like this incredible game on a mobile phone, kind of like
Yeah, exactly,
portable
right?
version.
You can bring it anywhere.
And I had so much fun playing with you guys, even though the graphics was considerably degraded. It's incredible. Okay, someone else give it a go because I can talk about it forever.
Yeah, cool. So, so you really enjoyed it playing it on the Quest. And how about Gary? What were your thoughts about After the Fall?
Yeah, well, this is sort of similar to Tetiana in some ways because I don't play. I play first-person shooters, but not multiplayer. I never play like multiplayer first-person shooters really, and I'm not. I've mentioned numerous times I'm not really a multiplayer person, so I don't sort of gravitate towards these kinds of games anyway. But of course, if somebody puts it in the Discord, let's all get together and play a game. Then I'm probably going to be up for that. Honestly, if I'm playing with people I know, then that will be fine. Yeah.
It's all about finding the right crowd.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and the difference from going into this game where I went in for about 30 minutes, just like with bots. I just went in with AI bots just to get acclimatized to it. And the difference from playing the game that way to playing with you guys was night and day. It was completely different experience, and it was so much fun. I've got to say, hands off to these guys. They've done a great job on this game. I think it can take a certain amount of criticism as well, and I'll get into that a little bit later on. But the experience of playing this with you was fun. I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was just absolute non-stop fun.
It was fun.
And we played for how long was it? Like an hour and a half, hour and 40
Yeah, for sure.
minutes?
For sure.
And it flew by, absolutely flew by. And I could have, I could have probably carried, if I didn't have other stuff to do, I could have carried on playing quite happily I could have played through all the levels that night with you guys, honestly.
I think so, yeah. You're right, exactly.
But I was like, again, when I was looking at those footage, did you even realize that we look completely different on different headsets? Like the way I saw you was not the same way that like Steve saw you.
You're right.
Mean character-wise?
The characters?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Could you pull that video one more time?
Yeah, of course.
If you might, because that blew my mind, because I only realized it when I looked at Steve's video just a little bit back.
Wow.
It's a little bit back. Okay, that's a different thing. That's when we were looking at the wall.
Motivational posters.
And half of the people saw the poster, and the other half who are in Quest, they just saw a plain wall with nothing on it because they removed the poster on the Quest version.
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
But
so that means they're less motivated to play it.
They would be less motivated. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. There, yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah, right. It looks different.
If you go a little bit back, like I show Sebastian really close up.
Like when is it?
Like back, like all the way to the beginning.
I guess, yeah, that's just like...
yeah. No. Sorry. Forward. After this frozen scene, after the frozen scenes immediately.
Here?
After the whole white scene. Okay. Yeah, so basically in Quest version, yes, must be here. After the whole so when we got all together on Quest version, all the characters wear masks. They're all masked.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I can see.
And then you can see their faces on the PC VR version, and you kind of look like
makes sense.
A girl? I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, so
I think I was a girl.
I was making comments about everybody wearing masks, and nobody was responding. Like,
guys,
you're wearing masks. Come on.
I did remember that bit.
So the Quest version is way safer as what COVID is concerned.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, shit. I said the bad word. I'm sorry.
That's one of the big things as well. So some guy has commented as well saying the flashlights don't even show. So on the Quest, that's one of the big things I think that the people have mentioned about the differences, because some of the differences are superficial and not that important. I suppose the lighting in some ways is that way too, but it also adds probably a little bit of a gameplay element as well if you're in a really dark area or something like that.
No, because they changed the lighting in the Quest 2 version. Is very different. So the dark scenes are not really that dark because of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they chose to do that, because you can use a flashlight. A Quest 2 can handle a ray of light, but not like it would be a volumetric like ray of light like it would be on a PC. But like in Saints and Sinners, I'm sure there's a torch. In fact, there is when you go down to in the church, and you look around, and that's the Quest 2 standalone. So
I guess it's just what else this game is doing as well at the same time, or something like that. Yeah,
that's good. Look at that there. That's quite
a
good demonstration.
Yeah, that was really fun, but I still think it's fantastic that the Quest actually can have this game. Of course, it doesn't look as good as PC VR, but it's still fantastic, in my opinion, that they can do this on a standalone system, right? And it's still fun. I mean, Tetiana, you had fun.
Yeah, I wasn't going to like bash the game in any way. I'm just showing, this is what you can expect. There's some interesting things you can just think about it. They basically created a new game, because it's not just downgraded graphics. They literally changed so much just to make it work for Quest 2. There's so much work that went into it, and it works perfectly. If you're willing to, look over the graphics hit that the game took, you'll have just as much fun playing Quest version than you do PC VR. So yeah, it was incredible. But I am going to play PC VR next time.
Yeah, it looks so good.
If you have a choice, go for PC VR.
That makes sense. So Steve, what were your thoughts about the game?
Yeah, I think really you can tell that Vertigo games have done this before. And what I mean by that is that just the mechanics and the feel of being in that environment, and the way everything just felt tight. The game didn't feel buggy, or the movement and everything just felt very natural, and that shows. It shows that their experience in the VR space, that they've put all that effort into this game, and it definitely shows in terms of the gameplay. Just even like the guns, they felt good, and
they do feel great, yeah.
Just like the simple, like, you can actually reload the gun properly, like, if you're really hardcore, but you can also kind of just pull it to your chest, a bit like Arizona Sunshine. And I like that element, because really, when there's hordes of zombies coming at you anyway, that's pretty unrealistic. So I don't feel too guilty in using that as a quick way of
right.
I did that too. Yeah, I like that,
and it works really well. I think that's what struck me about the game. It was just I've played quite a number of different VR games, including like for instance Medal of Honor, which felt a lot more clunkier and more than this. This just felt like the mechanics and the feel of everything, just the movement, it's so spot on. What I didn't like was the menu system so much. In fact, that quite surprised me, because the whole game does feel very slick and very refined, but I think the way you join sessions can be a bit kind of cumbersome. And if you want to add a friend, this whole code thing was quite, the fact you kind of have to wear a VR headset, and then you kind of like have to like put a code in with your keyboard. That's a little bit cumbersome as well if you want to create a party as well. So it's not all perfect, but by any means. But overall, I mean, my God, what a fantastic co-op shooter! That I've wanted a game like this for a very long time, to be honest. Something like, I didn't know what I wanted, but when I played this for the first time,
now you wanted
that's
that.
It.
My first thought was, this is what I've been missing in VR.
Cool.
And I really hope, because at the moment that the content is lacking, if I'm honest. I just feel like hopefully as the DLCs roll out and they add more features, then it'll be something very. It already is great, but I think it just needs that extra bit of content for me personally.
I think the first DLC is free as well, isn't it? Is that right?
I think so.
The first one that's coming out, yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Because there's a launch edition and then like a gold edition or deluxe edition.
I'm not too sure about that, but
right. Yeah, about the friend codes, you're right. You have to type it in, but also actually that's a good thing that it's cross-play. In my opinion, it's so cool that no matter what kind of system you have, if you're on the PlayStation VR, if you're on the Quest like Tetiana was, or I was on a PC VR system, that we can play together. We can all play together. And when I talked with Vertigo before the launch, they told me they are proud of this. They are proud to be independent, not to be bought by Meta, and that they can actually do that kind of thing. So, yeah, I love it. I love that they did this. I love that it's crossplay, and no matter what kind of system you have, you can play with your friends, no matter on what kind of system they are. Super enjoyed it. And I totally agree with you all. It's so much fun just to play together. This part, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Big time. Yeah.
I think, go ahead, Sebastian, you carry on.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it, but I must also say that I'm not sure how long this could be fun for me personally, because the great thing was, of course, like shooting the zombies is fun in that moment, and the biggest part that really makes me want to play it is to play with you. Because that is the great thing, because we know each other. We enjoy being together in VR and experiencing something crazy like this, right? I was just thinking like, wow, look at video games, how far we got.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Like, okay, now we're in virtual reality and we're shooting zombies together. Like, what kind of an amazing experience. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, like, it is kind of like very similar, right? Always the same enemies are coming at you.
Yeah.
The enemy types are very similar. Okay, sometimes there's a big guy coming, and that's it. And I personally, I'm not the grinding type. I'm not so into, I play again and again to get the better weapon. That's not so much my thing. How about you?
Right.
What are you thinking about that?
No, I completely agree with that, because that's the reason why I'm also, like Gary, not so much into multiplayer games, because multiplayer matches and first-person shooters, they're normally not story-driven. And I'm really into story-driven games.
Same here.
So,
Exactly. Same
having
here.
a story-driven mode or a campaign, here you go. Some guy said the same thing. Some guy did.
Which guy?
Which guy? Some guy. would really fill that gap, I think, in the game for people who appreciate plot, and maybe even having the the campaign, but also the ability to invite your friends and to go through this story together as a team would really make a difference for me. And then just like with Demio, they can add more campaigns later on,
Right, they
and
want
new
to. They said it.
DLC.
Yes, right,
So
exactly.
and then you can play just hordes of zombies with your friends if you want, just mindlessly shooting, or you can go through this new campaign and go through the story together as a team. So then maybe that will add some variety. I don't know if Vertigo is thinking of adding anything beyond just shooting. I don't think so, because that would change the genre of the game.
You're right.
But at
Yeah.
least, yeah.
That's a great point as well, Tetiana, because what I consider this, the way I consider it from playing it with you guys and playing it with bots, is that what they've got here is a fantastic foundation for
Yes.
something that they can build on.
Yes.
The problem is, at the moment, like Steve said, there's not enough content, I don't think, anywhere close. And like Sebastian said, I think I would also get very bored of playing through these again and again. That being said, like, I think the fun that you bring to games like this, there's a reason that developers make games like this and bring them out in this, I would consider it almost a bit of a bare bones fashion like this, is because the initial fun comes from playing these games with friends.
Right.
And you make a lot of the fun yourself within these games. And then they get a chance to build on it and add certain things in. And I hope that's what Vertigo have planned. And what I also hope is that the player base stays around long enough to enjoy it, because what they are doing here, in my mind, is taking a bit of a gamble with this lack of content. If people get bored too early before they get a chance to release this DLC, they might not come back. And I think that's the risk that they're taking.
Right.
But just to finish off, I think that it is a fantastic game. We all got keys to this, and whenever we get a key to a game and we do a review or we speak about a game like this, I think it's fair to say that we all try to take ourselves out of the mindset of we got this for free. We try to think about how it would be if we bought it. Now, for me personally, again, with the caveat that this is not my kind of game normally, I would struggle to pay what is $40. I mean, it's $40, isn't it?
That's the point.
That's what I personally, that's my gut feeling. I would struggle to pay $40 for what's there at the moment. But we know more DLC is coming, so that's encouraging at least. And I'll watch it with a lot of interest because I think they've got a good, solid foundation.
The thing is about this replayability factor for me, because I'm a massive Battlefield fan. I've already got like 50, 60 hours in Battlefield, the new one. And the replayability there is playing with other people, even if it's not your friends. And I think they could easily fix this with that Tundra Dome, if I can say it, where basically they could add like a team deathmatch. They could add like capture the flag. That wouldn't take a lot of work on their side because they've already got the maps. They've already got that sort of mechanic in there. And then that way, literally, that could add like so many more hours to the game. Because obviously, I would love a story-driven campaign. That would be the ultimate.
That would be. I would love it.
I would love it, but that would take a shitload of work. Let's be honest. That really would. But to add more modes in a sort of, like team, all these different modes like you would in normal, like Call of Duty. That's what I want from this: a Call of Duty experience in this game where you're fighting against other people. Maybe even add zombies. Maybe you can be a zombie. Imagine that. Like one team could be zombies, the others could be like the shooty guys, and you can have special sort of, I don't know, sort of powers or something. But there's things you could play around with this, and it wouldn't take a lot of work for them to implement that. And then that would add a huge amount of replayability.
You could do something like players versus zombies.
Yes.
So that you're actually trying to kill each other while the zombies are trying to get you.
Or even a Rob zombie.
Well, one of the things I didn't mention, I know I spoke for a little bit there, but one of the things that got me onto that in the first place was what Tetiana said as well about mixing up some genres a little bit within this game. And I understand, I agree. I think this is a personal take on this. I think that there could be sections in this game where you go in and have almost like a mini escape room section just to break things up, rather than just constantly going from room, shooting zombies, you
Right.
move to the next room, shoot zombies. I know that that's probably not going to happen. And I know it's, like Tetiana says, it's mixing up genres that might cause more damage than good. But that's just a personal thing for me, what I would love.
Right. Yeah, probably it's great to just have a game where you mindlessly can shoot zombies.
Yeah.
Really, like some newcomers, probably they don't want to have the
There you
story.
go.
Probably they just want to shoot, right, with their friends. And that is the game. And here we are. And they have been successful with it. And I'm happy for them.
I agree. I'm actually
Right.
very happy with how
1.5
simple they made it. Like they've made it so simple to understand the gameplay. So yeah, just a simple shooter to show someone, hey, this is VR. You can literally shoot zombies with your friends, and it feels amazing without
right.
the complexity of the story. I guess this mode has the place to be in
Exactly.
VR. So.
Exactly. And
I
really
just wish
think
it wasn't
about
so
it.
expensive, really.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
right. That is really one thing. So the price is a bit steep, I think, for what they're offering. But well, if you have fun with your friends, then that's probably worth it. Yeah, I hope it would come to Viveport Infinity. If you have Viveport Infinity, then it's free. But at the moment, you have to also there at Viveport buy the game for like $40. Yeah. Anyways, after the fall, they got a successful launch, and I'm happy for them. And it is a value proposition for people who just want to mindlessly shoot at zombies with their friends, and it's fun. I think that kind of sums it up. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's what we did. And now let's talk about 2021. What a year. The metaverse was invented by Mark Zuckerberg.
I used to love that word until they did that. And now it's ruined forever.
Let's talk about that later. What should we talk about first? Should we talk about software, or should we talk about hardware? What are your thoughts?
Oh, God, that's a tricky one. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't mind.
I think there was
Gary,
so much
we cannot hear
software.
you. Gary, you are muted.
That was my bad. Sorry.
My meta.
Yeah. I just said we just spoken about software a little bit with
Okay.
After the Fall. Maybe go into hardware first briefly.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. So Gary, what was your hardware of the year 2021?
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things, and it's not out yet, but of course the Kickstarter was live, is the Lynx R1. To me,
Right.
it's one of the most interesting products that we've had in the past year announced, and you and I got to try it as well.
That was
and
pretty exciting.
yeah, it really was, and I liked it. I really liked what they are doing there with that, and it's not just a VR headset; it's got this AR functionality as well, which appeals to me as somebody that is tried a lot of VR headsets, and this to me is bringing something new and something that is interesting. So the Lynx R1 was a real big success on Kickstarter. They're doing a lot of stuff besides that as well. They're giving regular updates, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from them in the coming months, and hopefully they can make that goal of shipping the Lynx R1 out to backers of the Kickstarter. I believe April, is that right, Sebastian?
Yeah, I
April
think
next
yes, exactly.
yeah, and at the same time, I understand Kickstarters are probably more often delayed than they're not. So I'm sort of ready for a delay if that happens. I don't know if there will be. Stan didn't mention, he's pretty much confident in hitting that target, but we all know different things can happen, especially when you've got bigger companies like Valve that are delaying their products at this time as well. In the Steam Deck, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. So I hope they can fulfill all their orders by April, and I'm hoping to get mine then, and I'll be reporting a lot more. But yeah, the Lynx, in terms of hardware for me, the Lynx was squarely one of the most interesting things of the last year.
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, just to have a glimpse at this kind of mixed reality, right? There you see it right now, where you can see your actual reality and also some virtual reality, like everything mixed together in a very beautiful form factor. And like a small company from France trying to take on the big ones, right? So it was incredible to see that with you in Paris. So, wow, I agree. I agree. That was really
for
interesting.
me, if AR, I've never tried AR, so I feel like I need to try it to be excited about it in some ways. Like that's a great example, that video you're showing there. I just don't think there's enough infrastructure around AR at the moment to really get excited about it in terms of, you know, software and stuff. But I think it's something to be. It is something I really want. I'd love to try it. I was gutted I couldn't try that headset because I think I'd feel the same as you, Gary. I think that would have been a massive highlight for me otherwise. But yeah, it does look very exciting.
Just quickly on this video as well, Sebastian's thumb there, it's being occluded even though it's supposed to be in front of it, but there is software that they've already done and finalized with this as well, and they've got demos of occlusion which works a lot better than this as well, so it's more like real life. So if your hand is in front of the sun is being occluded by it in a realistic way.
Yeah, right, exactly. So yeah, that was really interesting. And also what I think is interesting, these kind of special lenses, right? And I still have it here. Like this, I don't even know what was the special name of this. It looks kind of like a diamond. It has like 4 parts, 4 quadrants.
Yeah, there is a name for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember what
it's too complicated.
Yeah.
Anyways, it looks so interesting, and you wouldn't believe that when you look through it, you can see a normal VR picture, just like if you would be looking at, like, for example, a Quest or some other headset. But this is happening. So
is this the lens of their own design?
I think they bought it from a company, right? But they I think like the first ones who really use it in this kind of headset.
But they're using it for a specific reason because that lens can be pushed right up against the display, and that's what keeps the form factor so small in this headset when compared to some others. So yeah, that's why they've gone down that route.
Exactly. Yeah. So I totally agree with you, Gary. That was really like super exciting, and good luck to the team, right?
Yep.
Fourfold catadioptric freeform prison lens.
That sounds right.
that sounds.
I'm just guessing there. I didn't look it up at all. I'm just guessing. That's probably what it looks like.
Yeah. You might be right there about that name. Exactly.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
So super exciting, and was really cool to see that kind of mixed reality happening, and that's something that in 2022 is going to happen for the masses. I mean, of course, the Lynx is going to come out, but of course also Meta is going to come out with Project Cambria, and they will also have this kind of like mixed reality with a great color pass-through, just like as we've seen it in the picture. And there's going to be so many new use cases that at this moment we can't actually think about. We don't know yet what's going to happen, but it's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, cool. So Gary, thanks for mentioning the Lynx R1. But is there any other headset, like VR headset, that other people also use, or that you use actually? Would you have like a headset of the year 2021 for you personally?
Oh, just you? Well, the one that if the headsets that I use, I mean, I suppose. I mean, what you're asking here is for. I mean, are you asking me to say the Quest 2? Is that really what?
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're using, really.
Because I do use the Quest 2 a hell of a lot. It's an incredible headset. There's no getting around it. I think we wouldn't have that headset without Meta. As much of a problem, is they have around them. I think that the Quest 2 is without question among the best hardware that I've ever. It's one of the best things I've ever bought.
Wow, that's
value for money. Of the best.
That is really value.
It just really is, and even as a PC VR headset, it's up there. Airlink wireless, and it works really well. So yeah, I love my Quest 2. I still probably use the Valve Index a little bit more, but I think in terms of just what they are offering, the software updates, the Airlink, the 120 hertz support, the link sharpening, all of these different things that they are constantly iterating on with that headset.
Yeah, wireless, everything.
It makes it almost impossible not to say that that's one of the VR headsets of the year.
Yeah, that's really true. That makes so much sense. So you are using the Quest 2 and you're using the Valve Index as your daily drivers.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you are using hardware from 2019 and from 2020.
Yes,
Actually, right?
that's right. Yeah.
But the Quest 2 was from the end of 2020, so that's fine. That makes sense. Yeah, cool. So, Tetiana, what is your VR hardware?
Yes.
You gotta try some more things, right, this year?
Well, just give you a little bit of a background for you and maybe for someone who doesn't know. I'm actually relatively recent in the VR field, so I've been researching it for a
Right.
while. Even before I started the YouTube channel, it is my dissertation. This is
That's
something I've been
cool.
studying. So I actually got into VR as soon as I got my very first Quest, the black one. That's when I started the channel. So the very first videos have the first iteration of Quest. And then it was a really good timing for the channel because the Quest 2 got released and I immediately upgraded and I've been exploring it ever since. So for me, the exploration was not just Quest, but the VR universe before it became the metaverse in general. So I think that's what's been happening most of 2021, where I was actually exploring more of the, how, what kind of boundaries have been pushed with this headset. So one has been enough for me, but I'm certainly, my interests are definitely expanding beyond that. So now that I have the hardware prepared for more impressive VR devices, this is going to be my resolution for 2022 to considerably increase, my library and my collection of VR headsets that I'm going to test and try out and compare. So for now, I would say that with Quest 2, just like Gary said, it's definitely something that pushes other companies to work on better headsets. So as much as we don't like the ethical questions that are often getting arise with Facebook and Meta, the headset is so good that it pushes other companies to create something that would be a competitor. And I think without Quest 2, VR wouldn't be nearly on the stage that we have it now.
Yeah, right. It's like selling like hotcakes. It's fantastic.
So it's, I like the fact that it brought so much attention to the VR field, not just from the users, but from other manufacturers who are actually trying to catch up and create something equally good and even better. So it's like the competition is so heated now that we are getting so many new announcements now. I mean, you see what's happening this fall. So many headsets are being announced and many more will be announced next year. I think and I believe that Quest 2 is a very big reason for that. So yeah, I've been enjoying it this year. So many wonderful things have happened. And so I can't say that I've used anything more than Quest 2. I do have PlayStation VR. So I can just say maybe about, maybe I can talk about my favorite Quest 2 accessory. I don't know.
Yeah, you can. Why not? It's hardware. Let's talk about hardware. So what is it?
Well, hands down, it's going to be the Bobo VR M2 Pro.
I like it too. Yeah.
With
yeah. Oh, and it makes this great noise when you put it on, like beep beep beep. Exactly.
Yes,
there
the
it is.
magnetic battery. It's the best head strap I've had, hands down.
It is.
And I've tried so many. Head straps. I almost never say no when I am asked to test something because I'm always on a quest to find the best one. I'm like, okay. And there are always two camps. There is a regular head strap, kind of like the Elite strap, which, by the way, this one is not the Elite strap. This one is Abica. But it's almost the exact copy of the Elite strap. But I'm always pro Halo type for my own reasons. Watch my videos, you want to know why. I prefer Halo straps. But yes, this is the winner for me. But 2022 is going to be rich.
Do you do any of you guys that have used this actually have the issue, because some people, I love this is my favorite head strap too. This
for me too.
Absolutely the daily one. But some people who have used this have said that it suffers from some of the same problems as the original M2, where it sort of slides up slightly on the back of the head. This section sort of slides up. And I understand what they are saying with that, because I struggled a little bit with that at the beginning. but I don't anymore. And I think part of it is just really dialing in the correct position on your head and then tightening it to the point where you don't get that.
Right.
And in some cases, perhaps that tightening is perhaps a little bit more than you might be used to. I don't know, but I still consider it like it's on my Quest. It's always there, and I don't regret swapping it over for my Elite strap at all.
It's really fantastic. I recently also got the bag where this fits in actually, and I also should show it on my channel after the season break. And it's a bit bigger, so this is really good. So I think Bobo, great name by the way. They really make good accessories. So this is a very cool accessory.
Yeah. So that was the accessory, I guess. But in terms of the hardware, I'm going to have the debut of my channel with the new headset. So I also got the Arpara, which I'm testing right now. So the new video will be coming out, and many more.
I'm just thinking I haven't seen a video yet of you with that headset, but I'm looking forward to see what you think.
I mean, with a Nolo, it's so tough, right? You really need this this thing.
I'm really stalling. I'm stalling making it. I did test the ability of Arpara to connect to the phone, and to be honest,
this is okay. Yeah.
To be honest, I was not impressed by that. So I already made notes. There are some reasons.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to take too much time, but basically, so not talking about the image. The image is super bright and sharp. I love that. Well, but first of all, you can't really use your phone while you're in the headset because it's a touch screen. Yeah, how are you gonna know what you're touching if you're in VR?
Yeah, right. Probably you have to start the video first and then put it on, probably.
Yes. Right. So you basically the only functional way, I'm all about practicality. How practical is that? There's always two sides. One side is amazing technology and I appreciate it so much, but the other side, how can we use it? So the only thing I could imagine to use this connectivity is watching movies or something.
Right.
And so first of all, the mask, the facial interface is extremely uncomfortable.
Oh, yes.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. I had this I'm so happy that this mark is gone now. I had this red mark
for 2 weeks.
Like what? I was sort of like, okay, hopefully on Christmas this is gone.
Yeah. And it bleeds the light all the time in there. And it's so thick, irritates my skin. And if you increase the resolution, you can't see the corners of the video because it covers, like, the image is bigger than what you can actually see. So you can't see the whole screen, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, I can't enjoy that if I don't see the whole movie. So anyway, I'm not going to take too much time. That's why I haven't made the video. I was making the notes so that everything is there. But I do want to test more the PC VR capability.
This is totally different now with the Steam VR thing. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, okay, cool. So to all the hardware manufacturers that are totally watching this show, send you good stuff to Tetiana. She has now the 3080 and she wants to check things out.
I do.
Perfect. Yeah, looking forward to find out more. What do you think about other things as well? Nice, great. And now, Steve, tell us, how was your year in hardware? What was your favorite thing? What did you try out? Tell us, what impressed you the most?
Well, I think everybody probably knows what I'm going to say. It's obviously the Vive Pro 2, isn't it? I mean, I'm sorry. And Seb's even gone. So, yeah, he's just like, what? No, I mean, actually, it's been a mind-blowing year for me. And honestly, I hope, Tetiana, you have the same experience I've had this year. I have tried out so many headsets. It's been mental. I've tried out like quite a lot of the Pimax ranges of headsets and the 8KX particularly, which I love that much. I ended up buying my own, which just wow. I was so impressed with it. And also, obviously, the Vive Pro 2. I tried that. The original Vive Pro. Also, what else was it? Oh yeah, the Vario VR3. That was amazing. Trying that thing. And I think that was the turning point for me. It was kind of a double-edged sword at that point for me. It was a good and bad thing because once I tried and saw that clarity of the VR3, I was like, oh my God, I need this. But obviously the subscription killed it for me, dead in the water. But some people actually, went for it, and I've got total respect for them for doing that because still, even with the Aero, I think the VR3 is probably the best VR headset in the world right now, quite honestly, with that hand tracking and the OLED panel in the center. It's just amazing. So still, if VR3 owners out there, still be happy with their headset you've got, because it's absolutely amazing.
But it's a bit heavy.
But yes, hello. But I mean, for God's sake, it's the Aero. The Vario Aero for me is the most amazing headset I've ever tried, and I don't think I'll probably won't try anything better than that for a long time. For me personally, if I had to just throw away all of my headsets now, I'd be happy with the Aero for the next 5 years, probably even more. I don't even care if we get facial tracking, body tracking. For me, I don't care about any of that. All I'm bothered about is that crystal clear, beautiful display, and the Aero for me does that better than any other headset, really. Although I have now tried the Apara, which is the wildcard headset, but I can't quite put my finger on. I'm like you, Tatiana, at the moment. I made one quick video of it. I want to make loads more, but at the moment I can't, because I
you need that tracker. You need it.
I do. I need that tracker. I need the cable. I need to understand what that headset can really do. So that's why it's killing me. I'm getting emails and comments of people saying, please show me more of the Pirate. I can't at the moment. But Sebastian,
I made it. Yeah.
I'm going to say, you have. Your video just made it even worse for me, because now I'm so desperate to try out that tracker.
I know. Also waiting. So,
if you can send it to me after this.
This is going to be so good.
That'd be great.
Oh, you know what? And I made like a video where I try Microsoft Flight Simulator with the Apara and the Steam VR tracker, and I was just thinking, like, in the video, actually, I say like, Steve, VR Flight Sim guy, like I'm your competition now. like I'm flying there.
Brilliant. You know what? In your video, when you were actually flying in DCS, standing up.
Oh yeah, that was tough.
Was impressive.
Not to fall down,
You didn't even crash or anything.
I didn't.
Wow, that's you're natural.
You're right.
You're a natural, honestly.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so for you, was the Aero?
Well, it has to be, really, but I mean, it's a tricky one, and I've even thought about this. I even thought about doing a video of the best VR headset of 2021, and actually, it's the Quest 2. Quite honestly, it's the Quest 2 that's the best headset for most people. I mean, I'm a bit of a weirdo.
Sure.
I'm a bit of a, I'm a massive VR geek in a niche within a niche. Okay, and that's where the Aero sits nicely for me. But I totally understand that for most people, it won't make really much sense unless you are doing high-end VR and you want to play Half-Life Alyx with the most incredible visuals, or you want to obviously use it for race sims and flight sims. That makes total sense, because it is a professional-grade headset. Actually, the Aero was first sort of imagined as a professional headset as well, but then they decided to make it consumer. Because of us, let's be honest, me and Seb. But anyway, obviously other people as well. But I think me and Seb really pushed that, and I'm very, very proud. I'm very proud of that. And that for me is the biggest VR moment for me personally. It probably will be for a long time to come. To be honest, because
that was pretty cool, really.
Yeah, really cool. But I mean, it's just I've been flying in it today for 5 hours. No dodgy red face or anything. Thank God, because it's so comfortable as well, and I don't get any eye fatigue in it. It's just easy to look through that panel. But you do need a very beefy computer, admittedly. But then it kind of makes sense. It's like Gary will understand this. I've got a really nice Fender Stratocaster. Okay, it's about $3,000, and it's a beautiful guitar. Why would I then put a cheap £5 cable in it to plug into my amplifier? It's the same thing, isn't it? High end anything high end has to work. The link, you have to have a good computer, you have to have a good headset. It's the same with any technology. Otherwise you'll have a weak link somewhere. So, but the Aero for me is the most amazing headset of this year. But it also is probably the most unobtainable for most people, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Are they shipping out soon? Is it because
hopefully soon?
Yeah, because I think they said originally the end of the year. Is that right? By the end of the year or something?
Exactly. That's what they wanted to do.
Updates on that? Yeah.
Right.
So the people that pre-order it should hopefully get it soon. Anyway.
Yeah, they're in for a treat. It's beautiful. Yeah,
I think for the simming community, maybe the Reverb G2 is probably the best headset even this year, because I still think the Reverb G2 looks brilliant.
It does, really.
With
Wow.
the crop of headsets we have now, I think people realise how much of a great deal that is, because it's still an amazing display. Superb.
Value for money. I think it's a fantastic
Absolutely.
headset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a question. You know, the new version, does it have different lenses, or is it the same lenses in that version?
I believe it's the same lenses. So
Okay.
I've just received it. I've just done my first hands-on session, and I really enjoyed it a lot. So I also enjoyed the original one, because it seems like my eyes are very close to the lenses anyways. But I know lots of people had some problems with the sweet spot and the edge-to-edge clarity, probably because their eyes were not as close to the lenses as my eyes are because of my head shape, right? So for the new one, actually what they did, they changed the face gasket, and now automatically you're much closer to the lenses, and people who had problems with that before, in my opinion, I believe they will not have that problem anymore. So yeah, I really love the new G2. Right.
The thing is with the G2, it's so incredible. I love that headset right up until the point where you do try the Apara or the Aero. I'm going to say the Apara as well. And then you go back to it and you think, my God, I suddenly feel really enclosed in terms of I can't really look around, because the sweet spot is really tiny in the Reverb G2. And it's something I never really complain about much until I try the other headsets. And then it really is quite obvious to me. And I know that you said, Gary, when you had the Reverb G2, that was one of the things you had a problem with, was the sweet spot.
It was one of the main things. However, I will say that if you use that headset exclusively for PC VR, I found myself just getting past it. I think you just train yourself not to look around as much, and you don't. It's not like you miss that because you don't even know you're doing it. So I can understand people getting over it and not having a problem with it at all. But I think it did have a small sweet spot. I think that's.
But again, really, it is because the gasket put your eyes in a too far distance to the lenses.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did try that mod as well, where it was sort of bringing the gasket closer, so like the Frankenfov mod and those kinds of things. So I did try that, and look, at the end of the day, I don't think it's a major complaint. It's of that headset. It's not like it's unusable or anything like that. It's just it's something that I did notice when comparing it to some other headsets. That's all. Right.
Yeah. The G2, very cool. So, Steve, anything more you would like to talk about your hardware year?
Well, the thing is with me, it's a really hard question to ask me because I've tried so many headsets over a very short amount of time as well. So I just want to emphasize as well, and I mean this, genuinely mean this, that the Pimax 8KX is also up there as a headset that I'm absolutely mind blown with every time I use it, because of the field of view. I think there's two main camps in there. There's the field of view crowd and the clarity cloud. I'm probably more crowd and I'm more into the
it's such a flight simmer.
I'm thinking about the clouds. I'm flying now. I am more clarity than field of view, but I must admit, my God, in sims like DCS, when you've got, I kind of call it a slab of screen in front of your eyes, and you're looking around, and you've got this massive screen, and it's incredible as well. So I don't know. I mean, that headset is also a massive highlight for me. Absolutely.
Nice.
So I can't really pin it down to one headset, as I suppose I could. The Aero is, but it's difficult because they're both so good at doing different things, but equally as important for the VR sort of whatever you prefer really. But yeah, the 8KX is superb, as is the Aero. They're my two top headsets for this year. I'll just go with that. Because I'll just ramble on forever otherwise.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, at one point, the wide FOV crowd and the crystal clear crowd, they will have the one headset where they have everything. I hope that's going to happen.
Yeah, that might happen this time next year. We might be talking about that.
Yeah, perhaps.
In more detail.
Yeah, who knows? Probably I'm going to see it. Oh, we're going to see it at CES 2022 in Las Vegas. Who knows? Probably going to see it. Yeah, cool. So also let me tell you about my year in VR hardware. So the Vive Pro 2. Obviously, we hoped that this would be like the clarity that the G2 gives us with the with a beautiful lighthouse tracking. And honestly, I don't hate that device as much as others do it. Yeah, so I think it is not so terrible, honestly speaking. But I think they missed the mark with the lenses. I think the lenses are just not good enough. This really has a small sweet spot, and there's so much glare. If there was the Vive Pro 2 with like aspheric lenses or with pancake lenses, this would be so good because the display of the Vive Pro 2 actually is really good. Like super nice colors, high resolution, and in my opinion, they would have a winner if it wasn't for the terrible lenses and the bad microphone. That's two things already. Yeah. So they have been a bit lazy, unfortunately, with the Vive Pro 2, and I don't understand how this can get through like QA, like the quality assurance. So they could have had like a winner, but because of the lenses, they did not. Yeah. Then my headset of the year clearly is the HTC Vive Flow.
Wow.
What?
Obviously, I'm kidding here.
I knew it. I knew it.
You said that so seriously.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm German. I'm a very serious guy. Yeah, so it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this is a joke. Unfortunately, so I really think, like, again, I don't understand the HTC. The decision-making process. I don't know how that happens. Like, I paid myself 549 euros for the Vive Flow, and it has this cool form factor and everything. But first of all, in my opinion, that headset has a super strange marketing. It's about meditating in VR, and I don't even know people in real life who would meditate here in Germany, right? No, really, no. I really don't.
Right here.
Yeah, exactly. We do the hop tea meditation, but we don't like meditate. Like I don't know people, and then to try to sell it to them for 549 euros and telling them, okay, you can, like, after work you can meditate in this. I really don't think that anyone is going to do it. Is going to pay that money to try some meditation apps, and the use case for me, why I bought it, next to that I buy all the hardware, is that probably I thought that I can beautifully watch Netflix from my phone and stream it. And that did work for the first couple of days. Then they did an update, and then it just told me, yeah, it doesn't work because your phone doesn't support digital rights management. And like, what? Like I have a really expensive Android phone. Like the Oppo Find Pro 3, like it costs like 1,100 euros, and that should have it. I don't know. Anyways, I just don't understand how HTC is making these kind of decisions. Like, they are wrong in so often with their management decisions. You know, like, I think the whole world was waiting for a Quest 2 competitor. And like everyone would have like supported them and rooted for them if they came out with one for the masses, like for the consumers, right? And probably people would have bought like a Focus 3 that would cost like 600 euros, probably, or like let's say 500 euros, more expensive, definitely more expensive than the Quest 2. But not having that Facebook force lock-in, right? I think people would have rooted for them. But now.
You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about those teaser images that they posted.
Yeah, exactly.
And so just hear me out.
Yeah.
So I remember we had this podcast right before it got announced that we like spent the whole 20 minutes probably just speculating what this new thing could be that HTC is so skillfully promoting or teasing. And now that I think bad about it, I think that was so obvious what the headset was, but the fact that the idea was so ridiculous that no one guessed it, because no one could even imagine that they would just come up with a headset for meditation.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It wasn't even in our heads because, like, surely they're not gonna make a headset for meditation. We were thinking about some kind of headphones, some headset that you can carry around anywhere, which is true, but not for meditation. So now that I think about it, it was so obvious what this headset was. Like this teaser was like super transparent. It's just that we had no idea that this is an actual thing that they are going to release, because it seemed, well, odd to release, but that's exactly what they did. So
It's
that was
odd.
a disappointment. Yeah.
It is. And then like wearing it, it's actually not so bad in terms of visual quality. But the thing is, like, it's very clunky to use it. It only has 3 DOF controls, right? You use your phone and then there's a laser pointer coming out of it. And it's just clunky when you already had the Quest 1 and 2 for like 2 years with like 2 6 degrees of freedom controllers, and then having to go back and being forced on some 3 DOF controls.
Having it
just
tethered.
doesn't work.
Having it tethered as well. That's a big issue. And look, they've got the form factor there, and I've not used it, so I don't know how great the form factor is, but it does look pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay,
lightweight
not bad.
and-
Yeah, right.
and that. So it's understandable that it needs to be tethered at this point in order to work. And I have seen some stuff recently. I think E- Eric Hartley, he's posted some stuff about streaming Steam VR directly to it. And there was actually a post on Reddit where somebody said they were playing Project Cars in this headset. But the process of doing that is pretty complicated.
It's complicated. You need to get RiftCat to make it happen.
Yeah.
And you still don't have real controls, right? So it's no, really.
No.
It's not for this kind of money. Like, I paid 549 euros for that, and it's just like, it's not worth it. It feels like rushed. It's not ready. You know, there's no hand tracking, and they could do hand tracking because it has cameras, right? But there's no hand tracking whatsoever. So it's like, this is like the worst 549 euros that I've ever spent in my whole life. Unfortunately, I have to say that. HTC, I'm so sorry.
Promotion.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
That's it,
So
now you're off the mailing list now. That is it.
yeah, I'm off the mailing list. No, it's okay. No, I'm fine. I'm still like talking with HTC, obviously, and I give them my honest feedback, right? Whenever I get some hardware or what. But it's like, I don't understand these management decisions that are like being done here, and I don't think that the Vive Flow is a big hit, like financially for them. I don't think many people are picking it up. I see nobody talking about it. Like I don't want to talk about it on my channel. I don't know what to say.
I was quite, even my Vive Pro 2, I was so excited to show that on the channel. It had like so low views, and I was really surprised by that, because not by having low views on my channel, but just the fact that no one was interested in that headset. Like, and then I did like a few videos afterwards, and just no one really was bothered about it. And I thought, okay, fair enough. And that kind of in some ways reflects sort of the feelings of HTC.
So if I would have made more, if I would make more videos about the Flow, it would be very bad for Vive, honestly speaking. So the thing is, I still root for HTC. I really hope that they would do something that we want, right? Because they are probably still in the position with Viveport and a mobile Viveport store where they could actually compete against the Quest 2, where they could put up some mobile store that could somehow compete against the Quest store. So I really hope that the headquarters in Taiwan, they would like see that as well, and that they would watch MRTV and this podcast, listen to this podcast to find out what we think about HTC. So I still hope they can come up with something, but it's just like time after time they are kind of like disappointing us.
I don't understand why they didn't put the Vive Pro 2 in the sort of same design as the the Focus.
For example.
Sorry, go on.
No, you go on. I was finished.
No, I was just, basically, you know,
okay,
obviously
that's it, yeah.
the Vive Pro, so I think we've got a delay here.
Right. Yeah, right. The Focus 3 does have a nice design, but okay, it's a headset for business customers. Yeah, anyways.
But the thing is, though, it's not just, the thing is, the problem with the Vive Pro 2 is that they stuck a really high resolution 5K panel in the same design headset as the original Vive, which meant that it overheats.
The Vive Pro 1, yeah.
Yeah, so they should have not just for the aesthetics, although the Focus 3 is it? I can't remember if it's Focus 3
Yeah,
or
Focus
2.
3, yeah.
It looks amazing. It's so desirable. It looks like a headset I want. If they put that sort of design, the shape of that, and obviously with all those vents, it would have definitely behaved and performed better with those controls as well. I think that would have been all they needed to do, and obviously with the microphone, and it would have been a much more viable purchase for people.
Yeah, totally agree. So I still root for HTC. I really hope they can make it somehow, make something that we want and desire. But I'm not sure about that. These kind of management decisions. What's the problem? Why always wrong decisions? I don't know.
I love how you said you didn't want to talk about Vive Flow on your channel, and then we proceed to talk about it for 30 minutes. Because we're ranting. We're ranting about it. It's a very emotional topic for us.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We love VR, and there is room for other players next to Meta, and but they're making wrong decisions. Like Facebook or Meta, they're doing everything right. I think, in my opinion, they are just going for it. They are very aggressive, and they are, just like winning. So,
what's your favorite headset though, Seb? That's your worst one. What's your favorite?
Okay, so my favorite headset in 2021. So obviously, I was super excited about the Aero, right? So there was really something special for me. I got the VR3 from a distributor here from Bestware, like on a loan basis, and it's a business headset, right? And they asked me, okay, here, check it out. It's a business headset. You can review it. And obviously, I did not review it as a business headset. Of course, I tried. I tried Half-Life Alyx on it. I tried all the games on it. And I was blown away. I mean, you can probably remember that video when I made the Through the Lens video of the VR3. And this video blew up. It was one of my most viewed videos on the channel ever. Like I think 200,000 views or something. That's really cool. And people said okay, we want this. We want to have this, and people couldn't buy this. Just like you said, Steve, right? Yeah, you can buy the VR3, but you have to pay this yearly fee. So it was fantastic to see that kind of commands, the thumbs up, and that this kind of feedback actually made Vario to decide to come out with the Aero. That was super amazing. I mean, obviously, they already had it in their works. They already had it in their drawer somehow, this kind of dumbed down VR3. But to get that impulse from our videos, Steve, right? That they could really see that people want this, and that because of our videos, they made this decision, or they kind of felt like it's worth it to go for it. Wow, that's just like you said, it's a proud moment. It's so
very
cool.
Powerful. Yeah.
It's so cool to see that we have an impact on this industry.
Absolutely.
That we love so much. So it was very moving when we finally found out that yes, they're doing it, and I got this email okay, do you want to be part of reviewing this new headset under NDA? It's yes. yeah, why not? so it was great to find out that they really would do it, and it was fantastic to receive the device, put it out of the box, and then to feel how light it is as compared to the VR3. Wow, so cool, such a cool headset, so clear. The clearest headset that I've ever seen, the clearest picture in VR that I've ever seen. Fantastic. So without a doubt, the Aero is on the very, very top of my selection in 2021, even though the general public will probably get it in 2022. But I have it here. So for me, it's a reality. And I showed it to people here in Germany, and they also liked it. And for me, this is definitely one of the my favorite headsets in 2021. But I must also say, still, the G2 is still pretty amazing. Just got the update, put it on again, and I was just reminded, of how great the headset is, of how amazing this headset is, and what kind of value proposition it is. For like $600, you get a headset where you don't need base stations, where you don't need to buy the Valve Index controllers. For $600, everything in one device. And now with a new gasket, you even won't have these kind of problems with the sweet spot. It's like a clarity that is very close to that of the Aero for $600, right? So again, the G2 is also still on the top of my list. Yeah, but now probably lots of people will be like surprised by my choice of headset of the year 2021. And I must honestly say it is the Quest 2 as well.
Don't do it. Oh, you did it.
Like, oh, wow, that is surprising, right? From me. I mean, from the guy who always told you, like, oh, Facebook is evil, Facebook is evil. But I must honestly say it's an amazing headset. The value is incredible. And I do have this kind of change of heart. Not just because the reality is just like I'm simply using it a lot. Yeah, it's so easy to put on. It's wireless. Like at home, I have the Quest 2 at home, and when I go back after a long day of work here at the MRTV headquarters, I still put on the Quest 2, and I enjoy it. And I must say, yeah, it is so easy. It is so great. It really helped so many people to get into VR. So many good games on it. So I must say, Meta is doing it all right. They're doing a great job here. And I also have this change of heart because also Facebook has this kind of change of heart where they said like, okay, from 2022, we will not force you to use your Facebook account. You will be able to log in with something else, probably a Meta account. Yeah, we still have to see in which direction Meta is going, what is going to be their business model. Probably very similar, right? No question. I am going to watch it here on the channel, and I will still be critical, and I will still watch what's going on. But for me personally, I'm already like super happy that this kind of Facebook forced lock-in is gone, where they're mixing like my social network with my VR stuff. So not being forced to mix this up. This is really cool. And I must say, like, yeah, I really, really did use the Quest 2 a lot. And it just made such a big impact on the industry. So I must also say it's my headset of the year. Surprising, right?
And just the speed at which they keep releasing updates month after month after month. They just keep bringing up this new stuff. I mean, Airlink just came this year, and it already feels like it's been here forever. And they kept improving it from day one.
You're so right.
Like
exactly.
When it just came out, I think the whole YouTube was like, virtual desktop is still the best. And it was the best. I still think it brings a lot of value. And but just how quickly they got it fixed up and working amazingly smooth, and they keep adding like more and more things pretty much with every update. There is something quote unquote huge that gets us to talk about it. Yeah, so obviously the clickbaits, but the fact is there's always something to look forward to. Like, what are they going to come up next? And they're always coming up with something. So at least it's entertaining. Really. But it improves quality of life. I mean, I think the recent update brought to us cloud saving. So now,
so important, so good.
Yeah, I'm like, what? How come we never had it? Like, you could do this the whole time and you're just doing it now? So, yeah, I think that's one of the things. Like, it's not just a great headset. They keep improving it super fast. Like, that's why it's so much harder for others to compete.
It's funny. My favorite game of the year is a standalone Quest game, Resident Evil 4. I had such a great time playing that game.
Wow.
And, you know, like everybody here, I think I used the Quest 2 probably the most out of all my VR headsets recently, because I've been playing a lot of games recently, and it is just stupendously good. Like, the software is in. I mean, whoever is doing the software, they are geniuses, because
they have the best. They have the best people.
Amazing.
They have hundreds of the best engineers.
This is part of the reason why nobody can compete as well, because they keep buying up all the engineers.
That is the other part of the medal, of course. You know, like. They are dominating the market so much, and they are subsidizing it and giving it away for an unbeatable price, it is good for us to be able to buy it. But on the other hand, it's bad because other players cannot get into the market. And and then we don't have competition. And then Facebook can do some evil things, right? But anyways, next year there's going to be some competition. I can already tell you that with my secret sources.
You can only there we go. There's a little tip. But you can only analyze all of this stuff from certain angles. You can't analyze it from a global sense of everything. From us as consumers, the Quest 2 is a fantastic headset, and we can also take into account the fact of what Meta do and some of the things that we don't like that Meta do. But at the end of the day, I'm only human, and I don't know all the angles that you could attack this on and attack Meta and say that they're not competing fairly. They're anti-competitive, and they're buying up all these engineers. They're limiting the software on their store and all of these other things. We can certainly take note of that. But at the end of the day,
I will keep covering the bad stuff.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day, when you analyze it from a purely consumer point of view, that has to be, it's one of the headsets of the year. It has to be.
Yeah, it really has to be. Even it came out last year, but it dominated. It really dominated the market.
But if you say it did come out last year, but the software that has come out this year, I think has really made that headset.
Yeah,
right.
I was gonna say that, like, it really became that headset this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, AirLink was a bit of a disaster when it first come out. I mean, it was so clunky, it didn't work very well, but they've really refined it. Well, I say not just AirLink, the link cable. I remember trying it for the first time, and I had a stream, and I was like, "This is crap. I just can't get it to work. It looks all pixelated, and it's the compression, and just not impressed." Now it's totally different. It's really good with the image sharpening as well.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
That's a big deal. Yeah,
it's almost on par with the G2 in terms of sharpness. Actually,
right. It's unbelievable. It's incredible how important software is, right? And like you can have the best hardware if the software is clunky and not smooth, it's gonna suck, right? So what Facebook is getting out of this already good hardware is just mind blowing. So yeah, I must give it to them. And content
to compete with Quest 2 in terms of like a standalone headset, to compete with it in terms of content is all. I don't want to be in the shoes of the developers who are trying to get in, because people actually forget about content quite a bit. Like when they're designing and developing standalone headsets, what about the content? It's like the last thing that's on their mind. They think it's gonna come once the hardware is there, but the reality is, if there's no content, there's no headset and there are no users.
You're right.
One of the advantages, though, and another good thing actually that Meta are doing now is that they are implementing OpenXR rather than using the proprietary Oculus. So it means that developers that develop for OpenXR should have an easy path to transition to other hardware, which I think is a positive thing, and it's worth recognising for Meta for doing that. So anything like the links, for example, when they implement OpenXR, it means that they will be compatible with everything that's on the Oculus Quest 2. They just need a delivery platform for that.
Yeah, right. So that's really good.
Paradise Decay's just posted a very interesting question. I'll be interested to hear what you guys think. He's asked, do we all think the Quest is responsible for the growth and popularity of VR, or is it something else? And that's a very good question, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they are responsible because, well, I think they have sold close to 10 million pieces, and because of that, also the people who spend time to develop the games and the apps, they can finally like live from that. They can finally make a living from that, right? So because of that ecosystem, yeah. They will make the next title because they know, okay, probably if it comes out on the Quest, I will make enough money to sustain myself, and that's not the case when making a Steam VR title, right? So So let's be honest, it's good. It's good for VR. This part,
I think. They're the necessary evil, I think, Meta. That's the way I can describe it.
Yeah. I still want to have a competitor, and I believe we're going to get it. And I think Also, this is going to be good for the for Meta when there is a competitor, because then they will be more on edge. I mean, they're already like giving everything right now, but it's always good to have like a second player or a third player. So this is going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, wow, cool. That was the VR headset of the year 2021. So we did get interesting headsets, and going into 2022, we're going to get more headsets. Let's see how it goes. This is interesting. The Apara, let's see how it goes, if they are also able to deliver, actually, because I don't know the company. I don't know. Will they really be able to deliver these headsets come March 2022? We don't know. Also, they have like an all-in-one, a standalone headset. Let's see how good that is. I'm looking forward to try it, of course, and you will see it here on the channel in the season break, unfortunately.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. So, next year, lots of interesting things are going to happen. Like people will get the Arrow for the first time, and we will get the Project Cambria, right? The Facebook headset. Perhaps Apple is going to get into the game and going to become a huge player. Wow. The future of VR is bright, and we will have lots of things to talk about in 2022 for sure about hardware. Also, this is going to be exciting for sure. So now, we're already 2 hours in, but we still need to talk about some games, right? The games that we played this year. The games of the year. And yeah, how about Steve, VR Flight Sim guy? What are your outstanding games? The games that you enjoy? You already mentioned just now that you enjoyed Resident Evil.
Kind of already gave that away, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But the reason why I love Resident Evil 4 so much is because it dates back to a time where gaming was really exploding. It's not just the way it's been implemented in the VR, with the Quest, but it's just games sort of in the 90s and then the sort of noughties, as we say. They were hard, they were difficult, and you got stuck on levels, and sort of there was something very special about that time with the 3D graphics card became a thing, didn't it? Do you remember? Did anyone remember the Riva TNT? I think that was one of the first NVIDIA graphics cards. I'm showing my age now. There was something about that time with gaming in general, when all these amazing games were coming out, that just made that special. So to be able to reimagine that in VR, for me, was just a very special game. And I've never played Resident Evil before, which is even more interesting. So I think the way it was, the fact that it's wireless as well, for me, that stands out weirdly. And that I'd never thought I would say that, because I'm a graphics whore. Like literally, I love graphics in VR. It's all about immersion and just seeing everything and just looking incredible. Resident Evil doesn't. I mean, it actually looks quite good on the Quest, and it's something I've learned about games in general this year. It doesn't really matter about how good they are graphically, because you are inside that environment, aren't you? So for another great game obviously is Walkabout Mini Golf. It looks like
I
Lego
love that game so much.
They added avatars now too.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Yeah, I was playing that with my friend last night, and he was going, you've got a mouth, what's going on? I was like, yeah. And he didn't have one though, but he was playing on SCV1. So whether that's, I don't know why, but anyway. But it's made me realize, it's made me adjust my thinking when it comes to VR games, that actually it's all about gameplay. That anyone could have told me that really, but I've found that out myself now, that I think games like Resident Evil really show like that era of gaming and how special that was, and reimagine that in VR for me was and literally that was like, obviously Resident Evil is quite a late new comer into this year. I could talk about Medal of Honor as well, which for me was a bit of a letdown. It was not as bad as what people said. Like people were really hammering it with the bad reviews. I don't agree with that. I don't think it was that bad, but I think the problem was it was too expensive.
It was, yeah.
very
Exactly,
expensive
that's
game.
what I would say. Yeah.
If it was
But
£30,
now for £40 or dollars, I think it's a great value. Like now it's crossplay
is it
and
cheaper now? It
yeah,
should be.
it is. It's actually it's really good. Like I like it.
Yeah. What I want to see from 2022 is open world games. I want to see an Assassin's Creed game where I can have a huge environment and explore.
Grand Theft Auto on the
Well, of
Quest
course.
2. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
How
This
did
is
I not
gonna
think of that one? But yeah, of course, Grand Theft Auto on the Quest 2. That's going to be intriguing to see how that works out. But for me, Game of the Year, it's got to be Resident Evil. Although I have to say, really, as a flight sim, it is Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah,
Of course it is.
obviously. Yeah,
I'm
for
not
you.
going to say that. Everyone knows that anyway, so I'll stick with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
But what exactly did you like about Resident Evil 4 so much?
Right, well, yeah, it's basically just the story. I love the story. I just love the cheesiness of it. It for me personally, it was the nostalgia of it. As I said before, it takes me back to that era of gaming, which I miss. So for me, and just the way it played. To start with, I wasn't sure about those cutscenes, but then I soon actually got used to them. I mean, I'm surprised I'm saying Resident Evil 4, to be fair, because I mean, there's a lot more other ones out there that could be much better than that. But for me, it just, I don't know. I'm already through I'm on my second playthrough of it already, and the first one it took me like 15 hours to get through it, and I'm just enjoying it, and it's just great. Love it.
Nice.
And I didn't think I'd say that really about that game, but it's brilliant. Maybe
Cool.
Rainbow Reactor was another one for me. I've got to say that. Awesome
the
game.
developer will love it. Kalle, if you're watching this, hello. Great. Cool. Really cool. Great. Yeah, cool, Steve. So how about you, Gary? What was your game, or what are your games of the year 2021?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I've particularly got one that would stand out over the others. I think for me, a lot of it is that over the past year, I've been playing a lot of the games in VR that I always play: Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, and now a new one is Microsoft Flight Simulator.
For me too.
So that is one that I've really got into this past year that I've barely played. You know, I played a little bit of Microsoft simulated flight sims in the past, but never to the extent that I've played this one. And so Microsoft Flight Simulator is absolutely an incredible game. Other than those...
Sim.
Sorry, yeah. Geez. Oh, God.
Oh, game.
So funny. Honestly.
We'd get that in comments anyway, so I'm glad you picked me up on that. Yeah. But yeah, so apart from those ones which are PC based, a lot of the other stuff, which is sort of new games which came out this year, it's got to be Quest stuff, really, honestly. And the one that stands out for me, the one that I played probably more than any other Quest game, I think, this year, is Song in the Smoke, which got very positive reviews when it first came out. And I don't think many people talk about it too often now, but it's a great single player long form game that you can really get your teeth into, and you can play that for many hours. You know, you could play 20-30 hours of that game and still have more to discover in it. And for a Quest game, that's saying a lot. We don't see those kinds of long form games on the Quest too often. You know, Resident Evil, of course, you know, that's another good example of that type. But Song in the Smoke is fantastic. It's a crafting survival game with, you know, sort of this stylized minimalist graphical aesthetic to it, which works really well and runs great on the Quest, but also gives you a way to work through these levels how you choose. There's not a single path. You can do a variety of things, and how you tackle each of these levels is up to you. And I love that in games. And it's one of the ones that I'm looking forward to in next year, Hitman 3, that provides you a basis with these levels for you to attack them in a variety of ways, do whatever you want to do in these levels to get the job done. And that's what Song in the Smoke does, in a very different way to Hitman, I should say. But yeah, I think that is an absolutely fantastic game. You know, I've got a list here of others, but things like Demeo, Resident Evil 4, like Steve as well, these are all the sort of the standout ones for me that I would say. And I do just very quickly, before I pass it over to Tetiana, is I do want to just quickly cover the fact that a majority of my other time this year has been spent with mods. Now, mods, it's difficult to put these in games of the year, but mods are becoming increasingly one of the most valuable resources on PC VR.
Cyberpunk. I'm looking forward to that mod. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
So I picked that up last week. Actually, it's half price at the minute on Steam. So I picked that up in
Is it?
preparation.
Oh,
I love the game actually.
It was. I'm not sure if it still is, but it was last week anyway.
It's so good.
Hopefully, yeah. I've not played it flat, but I picked it up almost entirely for the VR aspect. But things like Valheim, Outer Wilds, Morrowind with full motion controller support in VR. You can do all of these things. Resident Evil 2 Remake in VR is a work in progress too. Firewatch VR is a work in progress. So these games, mods are absolutely becoming vital on PC VR as I see it. And I think the developers that do this, that put their stuff on Patreon, I think it's a good idea for people to support them if they enjoy their mods, and it's a way to monetize it and encourage further mods as well. So I just wanted to quickly mention that.
Nice.
Another one, by the way, Gary, that I did try, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah.
VR is absolutely mind-blowing, but it's also quite motion sick provoking as well in
With the
places.
horses, all the horses.
With the horses, don't do that. Oh,
Well, you're on a 3090 as well, Steve, because I
yeah, no,
heard
it wasn't
that...
really the frame rate was fine. It's just the motion of the horse. Oh, couldn't
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
That's one
really hardcore, but I just couldn't do it.
That's one of the things that is worrying me about Cyberpunk, actually, the performance in VR. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But Luke Ross, who is doing all these mods, Horizon Zero Dawn now as well, Luke Ross has just released. And these are all sort of they're VR mods which still use the gamepad. But worthwhile nonetheless. I'm not taking anything away from him for doing it that way. But to get all these vast open worlds in VR is incredible.
Exactly. Think about it. You can play Horizon Zero Dawn now in VR. And yeah, wow, fantastic video from Cass and Cherry that they've just put out, and wow, it made me want to play it. Yeah, so really, really cool stuff. And I agree with you, Gary. So mods are an important part now of the whole game thing. And yeah, Cyberpunk, I can't wait to play it. Tetiana, how about you? What were your game highlights of 2021?
So many, but I'm going to keep it short because Steve and Gary already mentioned so many good games. So I'll try to add something to the conversation rather than repeat, because Demio is the game of the year for me, which I was so happy that it actually got that title this year. And I find myself play it a lot because I can't pass that second DLC. Like, I can't defeat the Red King, and I'm still trying to. So that's like a challenge for me. But I love board games, type games, and I think we need more of those in VR. And this one has a D&D kind of vibe to it. And overall, I really love turn-based strategy. So I know that real-time strategy is a big genre and very popular one, but turn-based strategy is just a little more like you can take time and think and build more how you're going to approach the challenge. So I like those, and I actually want to see more of those as well. But the game that you guys haven't mentioned, it got really surprised me, Lone Echo 2.
Yeah,
it's because I've not played it.
I haven't played it yet. Yeah.
Really?
This could be the game of the year, but none of us have played it.
Probably it is the game of the year. Sorry, Lone Echo.
It is the game of the year for me. And Gary, if you're looking for a story-driven game, just this is probably the most movie-like experience you can have.
That makes sense.
Well, Half-Life Alyx is too, but Lone Echo is just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's the perfect setting to be in VR, you know? Like, you're in space, you're floating. Like, VR is always so connected to the sci-fi culture and like futuristic kind of setting. Lone Echo is it. You're literally in space, like floating in walking outside the spaceship, just all those crazy stuff that you get to do in VR, and it's all connected with the beautiful tear-jerking storyline that might as well be a plot for a movie, and I would watch that movie, and you're in it, and it's the most incredible thing.
Here's the strange thing, right? I've not picked up Lone Echo 2, but Lone Echo 1 was, I mean, it's one of my favorite VR games ever.
Oh, so you played it?
Lone
Okay.
Echo 1 I have, not Lone
So
Echo 2.
so you can just pick it up and go right in
Well-
because it just picks up this where you left it at Lone Echo 1 and
Yeah.
it just
No
continues from
spoilers,
there.
please.
One
No.
of the reasons I didn't is because I started playing through it again, Lone Echo 1, just before the release of Lone Echo 2. And when the review started coming out, a lot of people were saying it's very much more of the same. They're not doing too much else beyond Lone Echo 1. And I just felt like I'd got to the point where I just didn't want more of the same. I wanted something different. And don't get me wrong, I am going to get Lone Echo 2 and I will play through it at some point. I just need a break from it. I think that's all it comes down to. But yeah, it's one that I regret not playing yet, to be honest.
No,
I've
that's
got
fair
both
enough.
games. I've got both games installed, and I haven't even started them yet. How bad is that?
Just
It's
go
too
for
busy.
it. And they're not that long. I think that we finished Lone Echo 1 in 3 or 4 nights. And we were playing maybe 1 or 2 hours each. But we were also like, wow, what's this?
Yeah, it's
wow,
beautiful.
what's that? So we really like looking at all the details because it's filled with details too. You can
Right. It works so
sounds
well
amazing.
also, right? The locomotion, it's so cool. It's fantastic.
doesn't- It's crazy. I
It's a
would
great
think
VR
that-
game.
and it doesn't make you sick.
Really need to play it.
You're right.
like,
Somehow
now.
it doesn't. So yeah, you definitely
Steven,
need
you have to watch The
finish it.
Matrix, by the way.
What's that? I'm not going to go do that again.
Yeah. And thanks for what I tried this year, and what makes me think that I want to see more of that in the future is point and click games like Secret of Retropolis. Have you guys tried Secret of Retropolis?
I've not, but I've
No.
heard good things
I
about that
haven't played
too. Actually, yeah.
So if you tried, these old LucasArts games like
Monkey Island.
The Day of the Tentacle, Indiana
Yeah.
Jones, Pepper, like there were so many of those. This point and click kind of adventures where you're in the story and you're interacting with objects and you're trying to figure out how to like proceed with that. It was so good. It was probably the first time I tried a game like that, which was Secret of Retropolis. And they recently made it to the official store from SideQuest and AppLab, so that's a big victory for them. So we may expect more games like that from them in the future. The biggest complaint was that it was incredibly short. Like you can finish it in under an hour. It's very short. And so more games like that would be incredible to see, and I hope that we will. So yeah, new genres like that, an open world. I completely agree. We need that in VR for sure. GTA 4.
That's going to be fantastic.
I cannot. I'm probably gonna make like 10 videos of that. Maybe a playthrough of the entire game. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, and maybe like Final Fantasy like games. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy series on flat screen. And the closest we got with that is the game called Arcakesir. And that's essentially the game where you get to, when you're fighting an enemy, it's partially like turn-based. So it's not real-time fighting where you're just smashing them and shooting them and destroying them. But when it's your turn, you get to choose which weapon you're using or which magical kind of spell to go with them. And then when your turn is done, you're kind of reacting with your body, evading the attack. So like there's like a hammer flying at you, you need to duck. Or there is a guy like that, or some kind of a bat flying in your face, and you have a shield and you have to react quickly to it. So
That
I don't
sounds
know.
cool.
It's amazing. And it's also started at SideQuest and AppLab game. I hope they're going to make it to the official store. But yeah, something about turn-based games, whether it's like a Final Fantasy-like genre or turn-based strategy like Demio, they get to me and I can play them all day.
Yeah,
And especially when they make it more physical, like when you actually physically have to like defend yourself from the attacks with your body. That sounds amazing.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess, I would say Demio as the seated VR experience, the game of the year for me. And a more expanded, story-driven one is definitely Lone Echo 2.
Okay, great. Yeah. So Lone Echo 2, still have to pick it up as well. But because of Lone Echo 2, I really played into Lone Echo 1. And yeah, it's fantastic. So looking forward to that. Yeah, thank you, Tetiana. So let me tell you about my games of the year, and yeah, you've also already mentioned them. For me, also Demio. It's just so good
So
to
good.
play that kind of tabletop game in VR with
New
friends.
expansion came out.
Yeah, it's they're still working on it, right? Exactly,
No,
and
it's out. It's ready.
it's in general. I mean, they still keep on adding content. It's a fantastic game, and yeah, people should pick it up. I even didn't know that I'm into this kind of like fantasy tabletop games, but now I know how fun it is, especially with people. And they have just nailed it. I think they have just nailed it. How this kind of game can work in VR. So yeah, also for me, Demio is definitely one of the games of the year. Congratulations. Then one game that I didn't expect to be so amazing and to blow me away like this is Hitman 3 on the PlayStation VR, on the one of the oldest systems out there. But it's so cool. You can play for hours and hours. And what is so surprising is how good the game looks on the PlayStation VR. It's like mind blowing. It looks better than many other games. And the freedom that you have, it's nearly also kind of like an open world game where you can reach your goal in different kinds of ways. So, Hitman 3, if you have the PlayStation VR, you absolutely should pick up Hitman 3. And what I also like about the game is, first of all, in Hitman 3, you do have several different kind of missions, but they have like programmed their whole game engine to work for VR. So you can also pick up Hitman 1 and 2 and also replay all the missions in virtual reality. And I even haven't done so yet. So there's so much content. And if you want it, you can just keep on playing Hitman in virtual reality. And yeah, just like Gary said before, like I am so excited that Hitman 3 is going to come to PC VR with proper controller support, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be like fantastic. This is one of my one of the games that I'm most looking forward to in 2022 to be able to play Hitman 3 on PC VR. So yeah, that was really actually surprising for me that Hitman 3 is actually one of my games of the year 2021. Then also Smash Drums. And I also didn't expect this. I recently picked it up, Smash Drums, for Quest. And I love rhythm games. I love games that I can just pick up and having fun and feeling like I am a rock star, right? Steve, I told you, like my dream is like to destroy the guitar, right, on a stage. Like this, I want to do this one fine day. I want to do this. But until then,
you Germans love rock music, so all
I
you
would
do is get me some gigs over there.
Yeah,
and my band will come and stay at your house.
Perfect.
Tonight.
Yeah, okay, I like it.
At the gig, you can throw a guitar. Or
yeah, we love rock. Yeah. So until the time that I'm going to destroy that e-guitar, I'm going to play Smash Drums and I'm going to feel like a rock star. Because what I love about this game, it really makes you feel like you are able to play the drums. It is so good, and it's one of the best $20 that I've spent all year. So if you have not yet picked up Smash Drums, and if you like rhythm games in virtual reality, this is one of the games to play. Fantastic. It makes you feel like you can play the drums. Incredible. So greetings out to the Smash Drums developer in France. Yeah, then next to this, I also liked Ragnarok. It's also like a drum game. So in general, I love rhythm games. I, in general, loved rhythm games even before virtual reality. So I was like rocking in that with these kind of plastic guitars before. So now to be able to do that in virtual reality is pretty amazing. Yeah. So Ragnarok and Smash Drums on the top of my list.
And Unplugged probably if you like.
Oh yeah,
playing
exactly.
The guitar.
That also really, really good. So lots of cool games are coming out, and in general, it's just like so much fun to be able to play all these games in VR.
I really wish I liked rhythm games, but I'm just too lazy.
No, but Steve, the thing is, you are a real musician. You don't need that. You know, you
You
don't
I
like
don't
like
know.
like
Get out of
me.
here.
Yeah, no, really. Yeah, like you can really be the rock star on the real stage, right? But for me, it's like, okay, I am not. I can just have that feeling when playing those VR games. But probably for you, it's boring because you can play the real thing, right?
I don't know. There might be some link there, maybe. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm not very good at like moving. So, I'm just not very good at, like Beat Saber's really. I find it really difficult. I find it like I can't. I just end up missing everything, and I'm just like, oh, I can't
Right.
be doing with
What I
this.
think
Right.
the beauty of the rhythm-based games is that you can just literally just put on the headset and play for like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Actually.
And
Exactly.
so there is place for them because you just want to relax. You just want to do something quick. Like I think Anthony
Yep.
said, it's a splash of VR, and you just have that splash. You don't want to. If you don't want to spend like 2-3 hours there, remembering the controllers and like getting into the storyline, you just quickly play a couple of songs
Totally
on Beat
agreed.
Saber or Unplugged, and you're good to go. That's why I like.
That's
this
probably
genre.
why
Right,
then,
right.
because when I go into VR, I'm in it for ages. Like I
Mhm.
I get everything set up. I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm in this for at least an hour or so. But I don't really go in VR for like a few minutes or but that makes sense. Maybe I should do it like that. Maybe I should try one of these, rhythm game, but just only play it for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe
I'm not a fan of rhythm games. I like some like Guitar Hero and stuff like that when I go to parties and play them in
Okay.
that kind of way. But I really don't. I'm not a big
Because
fan
you're
of rhythm
also
games.
probably able to play the guitar yourself, right? Like the guitar.
I don't
link
know if-
going on here.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that's it. But
Okay.
honestly, I don't. But I just think it's. I don't know. I don't know. I've spoke about Beat Saber about a billion times on VR Roundtable, so I don't need to get into all that.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. I got it.
I know what you're saying, Gary, even though you're not saying it, because I feel the same way. It's hard to
Yeah.
explain, isn't it? But yeah, I know what you mean.
Right, right. Yeah, cool. So yeah, lots of great games. Also, I personally really like Medal of Honor, and it's cool that's on the Quest now. And also another game that I would like to mention is Ancient Dungeon, and we had the developer
Oh,
of
that
Ancient
was good.
Dungeon. We had him here in the podcast as well, and I think it's a really, really very cool game, and it's out there now as well. Yep, so lots of cool games in 2021. Looking forward what 2022 will bring us. We are already in for 2 hours and 25 minutes, but we still have to talk about our highlights of the year. What kind of moment in VR could you tell us where you just thought oh my goodness, yes, this whole VR thing, I'm super happy that I'm in it for some reason. And how about we start with you, Gary? What was your VR moment or moments? You can also name 2 or 3.
Yeah, that works well because the first one, and Steve will love this, is Microsoft Flight Simulator has to be in there as one of the points in VR which time and again that game just evokes those feelings every now and again where you're just flying over some landscape and you think this is incredible, and there's moments where you really can fool yourself. You are actually in this plane and you are actually looking down at these towns and villages and things like that. Those moments are rare in VR, but they come a lot in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I think that's important to say. The other one, the other moment that I would say, and this is the final one, and it's more of a subtle one actually, is I don't know if I spoke about this on the show. I think I did, but there's a game being developed called Tinker Pilot, which is
yes.
it has HOTAS support, VR motion controller support, and hand tracking all integrated at the same time. And you sit in a spacecraft and you can use all of these interactions. Now, the reason this is, at the moment, the game is very early stages, and it's almost a tech demo at the moment, I would say. However, the level of immersion that you get by having your hands in there, which are registered with Leap Motion. I use my Valve Index, have Leap Motion, hand tracking, HOTAS controls, and motion controller support if you want them. They're not really necessary at the same time, but you can. And you are sitting there in a cockpit of a ship. The immersion is next level, honestly, where you've got your hands available to you and you can actually manipulate controls, which you have full, you can move them anywhere where you want. and then go back to flying your ship with HOTAS controls. This is something that is really actually quite special in VR, and I think that this goes hand in hand with some other games which I love, like Microsoft Flight Simulator. If they could implement this in Microsoft Flight Simulator, that would be fantastic, but also Elite Dangerous. All I'm thinking about when I'm playing Tinker Pilot is Elite Dangerous with this kind of interaction with hand tracking and HOTAS support.
Wow.
So that really was a special moment. It's more of a subtle one, and probably at this stage, Tinker Pilot is so early on that it's like I say, it's a tech demo. It's not really a game at this moment, so we need to take that into account. But yeah, it's pretty special having that interaction.
Nice. Wow, yeah, that sounds like fantastic moments in VR. Great. So, yeah, how about you, Steve? What were your moments, your VR moments of the year where you thought like, oh yeah, okay, that's my thing?
Yeah, without being too boringly obvious, it is a particular moment, a particular flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Wow, funny enough. But it was when I first received the Aero. I think it was the first week. And it was I actually had quite a stressful day at work, and it was really late at night. And I thought, I'm just going to go for a little flight, just a simple flight, nothing special. I wasn't even using any add-ons like this one behind me. I was just using one of the default planes. And this is what makes it so special, actually, because it was a very simple, like, nothing amazing flight. But I was just heading into Heathrow Airport, okay, and it was like dusk. It was just about dark. And the sun was just getting below some of the buildings, and you could just see sort of the rays of the light coming onto the airfield. And I was on approach, and honestly, this sounds like I'm going crazy here, but I had a moment where I actually thought it was real.
Yeah, why not? This is virtual reality, yeah, of course.
And people on my channel called this presence, and
Yeah,
I
right.
thought that was really cool. Good way of putting it. Like, I just had this sheer feeling of being there just for a few moments. Like, I landed, I saw this guy like taxiing near me, and it was obviously another player, simmer, whatever. And then there was this like fuel truck, and I just basically I stopped next to him and looked at him, and I just thought, my God, this is just absolutely unbelievable. And of all the flying I've done, all the crazy, really cool places I've been and the videos I've shown on the channel, for it to be a simple flight like that. And that was my best flight ever. And
Wow.
it was just a special moment. And I sat there afterwards, and I was so chilled out after the day I had as well. I had a really super stressful day. I had loads of meetings, and it didn't go very well. And afterwards, I didn't care about any of that. I was so happy, and I was so relaxed. And to me, that is why we love VR so much, is escapism for it.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, that was my moment of the year.
Fantastic. What a beautiful moment. Great. Yeah. Nice. Tetiana, what about your VR moment where you thought like, okay, wow, that is an industry I would like to be in?
Since we're talking about, the whole 2021, I don't know, can I just say this year has been so good to me.
Yeah, perfect.
I've been so happy with how this year went overall, and I don't know if I can just say a few highlights, just why
Sure,
I'm so
sure.
happy how it went. Because there are some things that just made me so happy, and I'm so grateful that they happened this year. I got married.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
I got to see my family for the first time in 2 years. I recently, made a big progress with my degree, which means that next year I will graduate with my doctoral degree, which is
Wow.
it's been in works for years and years, and it's coming together thanks to VR, because my dissertation is in VR. And I started taking my channel more seriously, and in 1 year it grew from 1,000 to almost 17,000. I'm so grateful for it.
That is really amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, because it made me really, dedicated to it and take it more seriously and be even more passionate about it. And of course, this is the year where I got my job in the VR industry as a SideQuest community manager, and that was
Congratulations.
completely mind-blowing. And so I'm just so grateful for everything that happened this year, and I feel like I'm a completely different person now than I was at the start of this year, and it's really big. So not to take too much of the time, I guess the actual moment in VR that was for me, I will go back to my game of the year, Lone Echo 2. And that was actually the game that gave me that moment was Lone Echo 1, which I also played this year. And that was pretty much the first time I did a spacewalk in VR.
Wow.
Going into this open space, just seeing the endlessness of that and how well it was made there. You can't go anywhere, but you have the feeling like you are there. And I had to like, for a second, I got like, oh, I had this impulse to like remove it because sometimes it freaks you out, like this, just the endlessness of things and the sense of how small you are compared to all that. Just like Steve, I almost had a feeling like for a second, maybe I'm there. Like I had this sense of presence there. And so like, a second later, I'm like, oh no, I just stood there and I just looked around for a couple of minutes, like without doing anything. I had a mission, like, hold on, I'll get to your mission. Just let me absorb all this. And I was holding on to like in game, there is like a little ship, like an Airbus, something you like used to move around between the asteroids. And you can like let go. You can pull yourself and go forward or backward, or you can just like stay and let go and you'll be in the same place. But I was grabbing onto it for the life of me because I had this feeling like if I let go, I'll just float away somewhere. So I had this like security grip on the handle, and I was just looking around and thought, this is magnificent.
Nice.
And because it was also like the beginning of the year, that was one of the first games I tried on PC VR. So it was also my transition from, standalone Quest 2 games to PC VR games.
That's a big one.
Yeah, so that one definitely left a mark.
Wow, what a beautiful moment. Yeah, thanks so much
cool.
for sharing it. Cool, yeah, so lots of great moments so far. And let me also share my VR moment of the year with you. And it's also about presence, about feeling like you are really there. And for me, it was in one of my games of the year, and it was in Hitman 3. So there is one level, and it plays actually in Berlin here in Germany, and it's a level where you go to a club. And at that moment, well, I hadn't been in a club for a very long time because of the lockdown and everything, and then I was just blown away by how cool that club was, the club scene. First of all, the music is good. There's lots of people around me doing different kinds of things in virtual reality. And it really feels like I am in that club. And I started to dance. I started to go crazy. And actually, I was live streaming exactly that moment. I'm so happy that I kind of caught that moment. And I am going to show it to you now. So let's have a look at me going crazy in virtual reality. Okay,
Let's do this.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. So there was really, it just showed me like, wow, what virtual reality can do. And okay.
Amazing. This atmosphere is friggin' amazing.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. What?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I love clips like that.
What?
This is unbelievable. Like the atmosphere.
You don't want to play this game flat. You want to be in virtual reality.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Guys, this is so overwhelmingly amazing right now.
The sound is so good, too.
Yeah, the sound is good.
Wow.
And
I love that track.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Can I just like go there without going through the rest of the game? I just want to have this as a space to go to.
you can quite soon go there if you want, if you play the game. But look at this. This is on PlayStation VR, one of the oldest systems.
What?
So many people dancing, and they are all doing different things, you know?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's very
I can
convincing.
feel
natural,
things,
yeah.
Sasha. Wow, Solid Freeman, this is so amazing.
I couldn't believe this was happening. I was dancing. You can see that?
Wow.
It's really like I was there. I was dancing.
This is so good.
And wow, yeah. So
What?
as you can tell, I was going
8:47.
crazy.
I do recommend.
And I can,
But I'm just fascinated right now.
yeah. And you know what? The game
I'm
is
just fascinated right now.
the game is so open. Like I could like start to
This
punch
is
the
one of the
person,
most
and then there would be like a
amazing moments
crazy
in my
like
VR history.
a
No
big
way.
fight. It's
I really feel like dancing right now.
unbelievable.
They do a great job with the NPCs. The number of NPCs on these
Wow.
levels
Exactly.
is incredible.
Unbelievable.
They're all like this. They all have this amount of like interaction with stuff. Yeah, it's great.
I really felt I am in a club in Berlin. It was just pure presence.
Like everyone's
Is it
doing
Berlin?
something different,
In
and there's
Kingston?
loads of people everywhere.
Yeah, Berlin is just like this.
Wow.
So yeah,
Frame rate is absolutely
the frame
stable.
rate. Yeah, yeah. So really, if you have not picked up, if you have a PlayStation VR, get that game. Or if you don't have it, you have to
This
get
is
Hitman 3.
crazy.
You have to get Hitman 3 when it comes out next year. So absolutely,
Wow,
for me
it's
personally,
so amazing
my
to be
game
in
of the
VR
year. Look
now.
at the people. Look at.
Yeah,
gonna get some
they're
ad
just like
revenue
going
now,
about their
Sebastian.
business.
Okay, now there's advertisement.
Of course.
Next time I'm in the club, right, I'm gonna go up to someone and go, the frame rate is amazing.
The frame rate. Yeah. So
Man, he's high.
yeah,
But the Matrix sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can.
That would start a fight.
And that was
really would
PlayStation 5, right? So
No,
the
no, no,
exclusive
No. That was even on PlayStation 4 Pro.
Oh,
Not even on
really?
5. It's so good.
Must
And
be
it
even
was
better on 5.
it was my presence, my feeling of presence. It
That
was
looks really cool.
yeah,
That
it
is
was.
a great moment.
It was so good. But other than that, also actually Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah.
Yes.
The same thing
I'm
is
amazed actually.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
it's really,
great.
it was
They
really,
do
really,
that.
it was really good. Other than that, I must say, I'm also really proud of this podcast, what we've done in a year, like so many shows, and actually like establishing this podcast as one of the big podcasts, I can say. I think about virtual reality, I'm really proud of it. And I'm happy that so many people like it. And I'm glad that I met all of you, right? Like here, that we have so much time to talk about our passion. And really, this is, even though it's lots of work, it is still like one of my proud moments, like every Saturday when we do this. And we didn't miss so many Saturdays. So I'm really proud of this too. Yeah, how was your feeling about the Next Dimension podcast, Steve?
Yeah, just I feel honoured to be on it every time I'm on it. I'm like, wow, I'm actually here. But it's just because I feel like we're doing something very special here. Like just VR is evolving so much, it's exploding, and there's so much going on that I feel very proud that we're able to talk about it. And I guess it's very special to be able to, I guess experience this with all of us guys, because I don't know about you guys, but there's not many people in my life that I can talk about VR to without them looking at me really blank. It's such a niche, but also I don't know, I sense all our passion together. And even in the comments, right. I love hanging out with people in the comments here as well, because I feel like we've got this certain bond, this certain special thing going on that we all understand what VR is all about. And to be part of that, it's just, it's great for me. It really
Cool,
is.
great, yeah. Tetiana, how's your feeling now after having done so many shows here on the Next Dimension podcast?
Yeah, I completely agree with Steve. I think it's a privilege to be on a podcast like that, because there aren't that many out there, and the ones that are out there are important. Like these conversations we're having are important for the field, and I'm just so thankful that I get to be a part of that, discussion, and to take part in these conversations that are quite influential in the field.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so shaping these kind of communities of people who are passionate about VR, and like bringing to light all these innovations that we get more and more of those, which is super exciting. So it looks like we're not going to run out of things to talk about for a long time.
Not at all. Exactly.
Yeah, I was I think that I got on this podcast this year, right? Isn't that when you contacted me,
Yeah,
Sebastian?
yeah, right.
Like
In the
earlier
very
this
beginning.
year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's fantastic. One of the best thing that happened to me in terms of the channel. So
Cool. Yeah, perfect.
yeah, it's I can see that like next year is going to bring even more excitement. So
I think
can't wait to
so.
continue
Yeah,
being a part of it.
perfect. Yeah, we're gonna have lots of things to talk about. Yeah, and how is it for you, Gary?
It's fantastic. I come to this as somebody that is a huge fan of podcasts anyway. I listen to a
Right.
lot of podcasts anyway, and of course, my favorite topic for podcast is VR. And there's
Perfect.
some great VR podcasts out there. I won't name them all for fear of missing out on the ones that I should remember. So people can find them, but I watch a lot of VR podcasts and I enjoy being on this. And like Steve said, and I think many people can sympathize with this sentiment in the sense that we all like talking to other people about VR. And if we don't have
Exactly.
that outlet, it's difficult, especially if you've not got it in your daily life. And there are people out there that are lucky that have those friends that they can talk to about VR or family that they can talk to about VR and get that outlet in that way. I just recently I've got some friends that have got into VR, so I'm getting that sort of a little bit that way. But before that time, for the past since 2016, I haven't had that outlet. So it's come almost entirely through VR Roundtable and now the Next Dimension podcast, just talking to you guys about VR. So I'm very happy to be on the show. And I'm grateful to be on the show. And I commit as much time as I can to being on the show, honestly. I don't want it to stop. And I think it's a valuable resource, not just this show. I think other VR podcasts are too.
Absolutely. And I'm sure we're going to talk about lots of things in 2022 as well. So I want to thank all of you who are live right now or who are listening to this show. Thanks so much for listening or watching the Next Dimension podcast. It has been an absolute blast in 2021. And it has been a fantastic year. And I'm looking forward to 2022. And of course, we're going to bring you lots of more shows next year. And one of my highlights was also to meet you, Gary, in Paris. That was so cool. It was fantastic.
Loved it.
To sit there in that Parisian cafe with you and have a beer or two and then speak with a team of Lynx. It was fantastic. So next year, I'm looking forward to meet Tetiana. We're going to meet in January in Las Vegas.
Yes.
How cool is that? That is going to be
cool.
amazing. We're going to make a
glad we can
video,
make it.
of course. It's going to be fantastic. And Steve, I believe we have to make it happen next year as well. Somehow, I don't know, we're going to make it happen. Yep. So, very cool, super nice. What a fantastic last show of 2021. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching the show or listening to the show. If you haven't done so yet, and if you like or love the show, in the best case, then do leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. So get out your iDevice and find the podcast app, find the Next Dimension podcast, and do write us a 5-star review right now. I mean, I've said it so many times, but I think now, the last show of 2021, after all of these shows, I think now you should really do it. It's only going to cost you like 1 or 2 minutes, and it would be like the best way to say thank you. And also do leave a comment, and that would be great. So that's it. That was the last show of 2022. We will see each other next year. Thank you so much for watching, and looking forward to see you next year. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Wow, yes, it's a wrap.
Hey.
It's a wrap. Wow, really, that was really, really cool. And I'm really proud of us for doing these shows. You know, it's like our free time, right? It's quite a lot of work to make this happen, right, guys?
Yeah, and it's when we're doing 3-hour shows, it is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's another 3-hour show here.
Oh my god, yeah.
It does go fast though. Like whenever
It
it's
does.
3, I think the longest one we had was 3.5 maybe.
Yeah,
But it's
right.
just so rich in conversations and discussions and events. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
The end of this year was so busy with all the announcements. I thought the world is going insane in the VR. It's like some things are changing and we are covering them all. It's amazing.
Right, exactly. And it's just so cool to be able to speak with people who are as passionate about VR as yourself. Like, because in my direct, how I say that, like circle of friends, nobody does VR. My wife, she's totally not into it. So just like Gary said, it's like a great outlet to speak with people who understand how fantastic it is.
Yeah. Feel like I might be having more friends in VR and on Twitter than I do in real life.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That is absolutely true. Yep. So I'm really looking forward to next year and to find out what's gonna be up next year and to see it grow. Like more and more people are picking it up. And like for Christmas, I bought the Quest 2 as a present for someone. I don't think the person is watching it, but I'm giving the gift of VR.
Oh,
that's a good
nice.
gift.
I actually got my husband into VR too.
Oh, really?
His Quest 2, I got it for his birthday in June. So
cool.
He obviously is not as much into VR as me, but he loves the flight simulator. Like he's much better than me. He just loves it. And we're playing Lone Echo together. So yeah, I do have a playing buddy. But that's it. None of my friends really have that interest to share that interest either. So it's a great thing to have, people that you can nerd out about all this stuff without feeling like an outcast and some weird.
They just look at you blankly sometimes. I try to start a conversation about VR, and then it's just like it's obvious that it's not really going the way I wanted it to.
Exactly.
I did that at work the other day, and I don't even know why it came up, but I just started talking about VR, and everyone. I was in a room, and I knew straight away that I should have stopped talking, but I carried on anyway. I couldn't stop myself. I thought, how am I going to change this to something else? And then it was a disaster. But never mind. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, but that's when I realized how hard it is to explain VR to someone who's never tried it.
It is.
You have to try it out.
Yeah, because I had a friend who was, trying to be polite, and she, tried to keep the conversation going when I mentioned VR, and she's like, "So what do you like about VR?" And I'm like, "What don't you like about VR?"
No, really, it's just too fascinating. Yeah. And it's also really cool, that we have the chance to play together, right? Like Demio, we play together, or after the fall. And I really hope that there's going to be more in 2022, like more of these multiplayer games, because that is just so good.
Well, one of the interesting games is Zenith is coming out, so we should try that, definitely. Yeah. The MMORPG.
That's an MMO, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's going to be pretty interesting, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So next year we're going to meet each other, Steve and Tetiana, and it would be great if in 2022 somehow we could bring us all together. I don't know how it's going to happen. Probably there's going to be some event where we're all being invited or something. But I would love to have this as a goal in 2022 to have us at the same place and do a live podcast together. Like having a beer or something, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
If possible.
Yeah, exactly.
It almost happened this year. Almost.
Yeah, next time. Close. Okay, that's it. That was the Next Dimension podcast, season 2, episode 17. And we're going to see each other and hear each other next year. I don't know exactly when, sometime in January after I came back from CES. And we'll see when exactly. But we will see each other again. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm just grateful to be able to do this kind of stuff. So see you next year.
Enjoy the holidays.
Exactly. Bye-bye.
Bye.